This class wasn't just any class, it was composed of gifted prodigies from the Empire. In other words, these students were the top 1% of the elite. It was Class A. The students murmur among themselves, "Why, how did he get in here?" The screen reads, "Welcome to the royal class." Reinhardt replies, "Pardon." Suddenly, Reinhardt remembers that he's a 17-year-old demon king's son. Suddenly, the temple is engulfed in flames. A scene of utter chaos unfolds before Reinhardt. Amidst the chaos, another student smirks down at Reinhardt. He realizes that he's surrounded by powerful people. Reinhardt realizes that he must become stronger in order to survive here. Whatever the case is, to become stronger, I need to collect achievement points. Suddenly, a voice echoes, "This is a world inside a novel I wrote." Suddenly, a message flashes. Event triggered, survive past the novel's ending. The Demon World War, a long feud between races, will decide everyone's fate. The war ended when hero Artorias defeated the great demon king, Valier. After the Demon World War, they established a special academy. It's called Temple and it trains gifted prodigies. The royal class, a special group of geniuses even in the prestigious temple, but one student always ranks last, Ludwig. The comments are brutal, calling the story boring and the main character dense. Others tell the author to quit. The author's face is aghast as the sound continues to ring in his ears. Has his story really reached its end? The doctors declare this is a cardiac arrest due to a sudden heart attack. A soul retrieval request from the agent of Hell's soul management, Grim Reaper Kim. Grim Reaper Kim hands him the soul retrieval document requesting confirmation. "For real?" he mutters, peering at the paper. He wonders how he died from reading hate comments. How many times must she ask? He stares at his lifeless body slumped over the keyboard. What a pathetic death, he thinks, filled with disbelief. Grim Reaper Kim impatiently tells him to decide already, saying she's busy. "It's already a shock I died." The author realizes he's being forced to make a strange decision. What does she mean? A serene vision of heaven is shown. Before reaching it, one must atone for their earthly sins. And the sins I've committed are. A booming voice echoes, listing his sins, quitting serializations and terrible continuity. He thinks back to his life. "I was a novelist," he recalls. Grim Reaper Kim explains his sins weren't against one person, but many. He wonders what kind of system judges a novelist for abandoning their work. He has to atone by becoming a character in one of his novels. He wants to shout that this is a standard transmigration story. Grim Reaper Kim says, "So you should already know the entire story." He thinks it sounds like a reward. She replies, "That depends on the novel." She declares all his novels have tragic endings. One is a zombie apocalypse story. He sees a glimpse of another story, surviving in the ruined world. He sighs, admitting, "I just don't have any confidence I can survive well even in my novel." He remembers the story, a refreshing academy story called "The Demon King is Dead." He gulps, remembering he actually died from reading those comments. But this is happening because of his academy story. The novel is the final boss dies at the start of the story. It's the best choice. He realizes that even being a background character in his academy novel would be a blessing. But why did it fail? Grim Reaper Kim is impatient, threatening to choose the world for him soon. He decides to pick "The Demon King is Dead" over the other choices. Grim Reaper Kim says she'll go with his choice, wishing him good luck. He's confused by her words. A loud clap echoes and suddenly Ludwig stands in a brightly lit, opulent room. "Ah," he mutters. Ludwig, now in the body of a demon, is dressed in a royal outfit. He is clearly confused about the situation. He finds himself in a lavish room. Everything is extravagant. He reaches for his head, feeling something strange. Horns. He examines the luxurious attire, wondering about its style. Wait, seriously, I'm inside my novel. As Ludwig gets his bearings, a holographic window appears before him. "Come on, no explanations," he exclaims. Ludwig is confused by the sudden change. He spots a screen displaying Valier Jr. and his stats. The screen above displays Valier Jr., but he is still very confused. Ludwig sees more stat screens calling him Archdemon and lowest grade Demon King. He can't believe it. He ended up as a random character in the story. The sound reverberates around Ludwig's new body as he exclaims, "What's that sound?" Ludwig is thrown through the air as a large explosion rips through the building. "Whoa!" he cries. Debris rains down after the explosion as Valier Jr. tries to process what's happening. Amidst the debris, Valier Jr. lies stunned, his thoughts racing. What was that, an explosion? He's getting a bad feeling about all of this when suddenly an alert window pops up. Escape the Demon King's castle. Amidst the chaos, Ludwig sees a corpse and is clearly shocked by the turn of events. Amidst the fiery explosion, Valier Jr. screams in shock, "What is going on?" He realizes he got exactly what he wanted as a random selection has been made. Now the demon realm is falling apart. He's shocked to find he's just a character who never even appeared in his own story. Age 17, he exclaims in disbelief, in a story where the Demon King is killed. An explosion rips through the temple. Someone below, covered in dust, gasps in shock at the devastation. A figure stomps forward, their boots echoing through the temple. Below, Reinhardt curses in frustration, his fangs bared in anger. This sets him off. Suddenly, a booming voice claims the Grim Reaper was a scammer. She'll enter the novel as a random character. She knows the story. Reinhardt cries out, questioning why fate has dealt him this cruel hand. The story reveals this is the prologue to the novel where the action happens. The Demon King and the hero meet their end as humanity claims victory in the war. Valier declares he's the demon prince of this story. If he's caught, he'll definitely be in trouble. Suddenly, a menacing die looms overhead. Valier is sweating, wondering how he'll survive this. Valier is surprised by the status screen. He's now Valier Jr. at the age of 17, he checks his stats. Valier thinks being the final boss Demon King would have been better. Anything would have been better than this. Valier thinks, I don't have any special abilities to help with escaping. Then the only option left is. Valier is sweating to hope that something good is in here. A sign reads *warehouse*. Valier in the warehouse thinks, I came here in hopes of finding something good. Valier curses as he rifles through the warehouse. This is why we're losing to the Imperial Army. He pauses and questions what he's found. Valier spots a book labeled Magic Scroll Book. He remembers scrolls can help those who can't use magic. Let's see. Valier flips through the book, a magic that can get me out of here. He shouts, found it. The teleportation scroll shines as magic swirls around it. Is this the answer? Valier fears being buried and decides, I should try to get as far away from here. Teleportation. Valier finds himself in the same spot. I'm still here, what? Why isn't it working? Suddenly, a message appears. The magic has been cancelled due to the movement magic barrier. Valier is shocked. Valier is distraught from the failed teleportation. I'm screwed, he thinks. Valier cries out, realizing he's running out of time. He wonders if he should just beg for his life. Valier is stunned by the failed teleportation magic. Camouflage. Suddenly, Valier is camouflaged. He hopes this helps him escape from his captors. The camouflage ability activates, allowing him to change his appearance. Valier thinks disguising himself as a human prisoner might work. I should try everything. Will it go well, though? He infiltrates the human prison and is saved by the Imperial Army. Mission success. He is now free. Valier realizes disguising himself might be the only way to survive this predicament. Prison cells. Valier suddenly pauses, confused by the silence. What? Why is it so quiet? Valier wonders if he entered the wrong place. His eyes widen in fear, looking around the strange room. Valier recoils from the fishy stench, but then realizes it smells like blood. Squish. Valier surprised by the stench of blood. He's regretting this decision greatly. Valier screams in pain, blood splattering on the ground. Has his disguise failed him? Valier stares in horror at a human hand. And is this blood? He's clearly in the wrong place. Valier is horrified. What is this? He looks down at the bodies. Are they all dead? Valier surrounded by blood and corpses. His feet are covered in blood. Valier thinks, I never wrote about this in the novel. It's supposed to be a rom-com. Should I leave? Valier internally debates his escape. A sobbing figure appears, making Valier wonder if she is a survivor. Valier flinches back, questioning if someone is there. Excuse me, are you all right? Valier is shocked by the bodies. He says, it's a girl, is she a kid? Valier, relieved to see someone alive, says, ah, that's a relief. I'm also a prisoner here, are you okay? Valier spots a figure and another lying in a pool of blood. Were they related? Oh no, he regrets his decision to come here. The girl cautiously asks Valier to wait together. Valier realizes he scared her and admits he's also scared. A boy suggests staying together, revealing they are in the Demon King's castle. A girl listens, covered in blood. Suddenly Valier trips and crashes into someone. Sorry, he cries out. Valier stammers, regretting his decision. I asked too much, right? He tries to explain. The girl replies, no, it's okay. She offers Valier a seat beside her. Valier thinks to himself, this is a bit awkward. Someone comments, you're really calm, huh? The girl agrees that it's scary too. Valier insists that he's not lying about how frightening it is in this room. Valier knows he has no other options, so he searches around in his cloak. He feels something. Valier says, all right, that's right, I had this. He pulls out some crackers from his pockets. Valier eats the crackers he's pulled out. I'm not that hungry right now, but... Valier smiles while covered in blood. Hey, I picked this up earlier. Valier holds out the crackers, as the girl stares at him with a blank expression. The girl hesitantly accepts the crackers, whispering, thank you. Is there a connection between them? Valier wonders if the girl dislikes the crackers, as a shout finds the cells. Suddenly a voice echoes, they are here. The atmosphere tightens as fear fills Valier's eyes. Heavy footsteps approach. A guard escorts a mysterious figure. Valier is fearful. The guard stops and says, finally. His gaze is unsettling. Valier wonders why their reactions are odd, considering they're just prisoners. An announcement sounds out, Your Imperial Highness. Valier flinches as a figure begs to be punished. The scene is surrounded with guards and blood. What? Valier overhears the term Imperial Highness and questions what's happening. The girl's identity is revealed. The game announces the prologue event Ruination clear, and 100 points gained. The Imperial Army Field Military Camp is bustling with activity, ready for the next big move. Reinforcements have arrived. The princess's safety is paramount and our hero is relieved to be alive. Charlotte enjoys a bite of food but thinks to herself about the situation. She gasps as she's held. Charlotte eats a piece of food as a knight stands guard beside her. The knight laughs humorlessly, this is hopeless. He was simply there when the princess was rescued. Charlotte, covered in grime, asks that her savior be looked after first. The knight explains, the Charlotte in front of me is a character who does not exist in the original novel. Charlotte thanks Lance for his hospitality. Another knight nods, promising to take her to the Imperial Palace. It's a relief. The knight leans in, looking exhausted. Charlotte smiles, relieved to finally be safe. The knight says, oh, and, before she's whisked away to the Imperial Palace. The knight's words are met with Charlotte's gratitude. He stares blankly as she thanks him, confused by her kindness. He wonders, I beg your pardon, my hometown. Charlotte asks what it's called. The disguised knight is caught off guard by the question, panicking internally. He internally rejects her question but then realizes something is off. He feels a gaze on him. He feels a piercing gaze that fills his body with incredible pressure. He thinks, I can't remember anything. He needs to make something up quickly to avoid suspicion. The disguised knight thinks, for you to say that, you must have gone through a lot. He notes her naivety. Charlotte smiles, relieved. A determined Charlotte vows to help him recover his memories, surprising the knight. Charlotte demands answers, pushing the disguised knight into a corner. He's breaking under the pressure. Charlotte is thankful, but a dark thought reveals that the princess will die. The knight thinks a backstory must have automatically been generated in this world. Charlotte despairs, then I can't know about her future that I never wrote. Remembering Bertus's nature, the disguised knight thinks of the consequences of his actions. He awkwardly thanks the princess again, thinking she is too innocent to realize her fate. The knight curses under his breath as he realizes Charlotte's life is in danger. The knight thinks if he can get Charlotte on his side, she will be useful to him. She sighs, unaware of the danger. Charlotte asks for a doctor because she feels sick from eating too much. Lance hears Charlotte ask herself why she is in danger if the Demon King died. Charlotte's denial is clear, as she finally seems to understand the situation. Charlotte thanks Lance. A doctor is requested as Charlotte feels sick. Charlotte is alarmed and starts to apologize, which confuses the disguised knight. Suddenly, the knight realizes Charlotte is acting differently. It seems like she's a completely different person. Sorry. Charlotte declares, because of me, you will die. The knight is shocked, asking what she means. Compared to before, Charlotte seems like a completely different person. She's drinking tea. Charlotte drinks tea but thinks that she is being kept here. The disguised knight realizes they have no intention of delivering the message of my rescue. It wasn't a rescue. The disguised knight realizes that they are going to kill her. She realizes if she dies, the rescuer is doomed as well. They will both be killed. The knight hesitates, implying Charlotte's rank is her protection. Charlotte refuses, trusting no one around her. The disguised knight freezes, realizing it was a setup by Lance from the start. The knight replies to Charlotte with, "Don't worry." Charlotte states, "I made a promise in my name, didn't I?" Charlotte raises a finger, declaring, "Listen well now, we are going to get out of here." The disguised knight realizes he needs to act fast. I'll try to grab their attention. The knight thinks to himself that he doesn't have much time. He wonders what's going on. A surge of motivation hits the knight to remember and survive. Remember, our lives depend on your success. Reinhardt peeks from behind a curtain, eyes narrowed and suspicious of his surroundings. Is no one here? Reinhardt, curious, asks, "You want to escape here?" Charlotte replies, "Yeah, there's only one way we can get out alive." Charlotte says they need to bring Sir Francis here. Somewhere else, a character is surprised to hear the name. Burtis interrupts, surprised by the mention of Sir Francis. Ah, that scary-looking knight. Charlotte explains William Francis is loyal only to the imperial family itself. Burtis suddenly realizes, what if Francis is already on the imperial prince's side? Charlotte explains that if it wasn't for Sir Francis, they'd be dead already. He is an excellent knight, unwavering in loyalty. Burtis realizes if someone in the neutral faction supports Charlotte, he might be able to survive too. Reinhardt confidently agrees to help Charlotte escape, ready to do whatever she says. Charlotte is relieved, thanking him for his trust. Charlotte slams a knife on the table, her eyes cold. Why don't we just force our way out? Reinhardt is shocked by her sudden shift. Charlotte declares, "I'll explain the plan first. I'll be the bait." Reinhardt is clearly shaken by this plan, worried it's too dangerous for her. Charlotte dismisses his concern with confidence. Charlotte resignedly awaits the arrival of the one who will decide her fate. A pair of hands clasp tightly together as someone begs for help. "So please hurry." Charlotte says with a smile that they don't have much time left to escape. Reinhardt is shocked by her declaration. She resolves herself, understanding she must cooperate with the imperial princess, Charlotte. Guards overhearing them question the situation. Guards panic at Charlotte's escape attempt, begging her to stay inside for her safety. Charlotte insists she wants to see the barracks. A knight hesitates, finding it difficult to refuse the imperial princess's request. "Your Imperial Highness, it's not that but." As Charlotte's knights reprimand her, Reinhardt manages to escape the room, now searching for her. A knight stops Reinhardt. "Hold it, who are you?" Reinhardt hesitates. I'm looking for Sir Francis." The knight eyes Reinhardt suspiciously, questioning his purpose. Why does he seek Sir Francis? The knights reveal that Sir Lance was sent to deal with the Demon King's remnants. Reinhardt gasps, realizing something. Reinhardt realizes the knight he seeks was guarding Charlotte. Did he predict this and move first? Reinhardt realizes only one option is left, while the knight demands to know why he is searching for Sir Francis. A panicked guard bursts in, grabbing the knight's armor. "Sir Knight, it's an emergency, Sir Francis is in danger." Despite the guard's warning about Francis, Reinhardt declares he can't let this stop him. The knight scoffs, clearly not believing Reinhardt's story about Sir Francis. He expected him to question it. The guard explains something is happening with Sir Francis and Charlotte's safety. He needs to return. Reinhardt agrees to trust Charlotte's judgment. He's now determined but doesn't know what to expect next. The knight smirks, confident in Reinhardt's decision. I'm saying I'll believe nobody like you. The knight hesitates, admitting he knows he hasn't earned Reinhardt's trust. The knight laughs, agreeing with Reinhardt while calling him desperate and stupid. The knight reveals this is just a gut feeling, but Sir Francis predicted this. The knight recalls Francis's words, realizing the gravity of the situation. He warned me someone would come. The knight smiles with confidence, thinking Sir Francis knew everything that would happen to Charlotte. The knight wonders why Sir Francis left Charlotte to go to the Demon King's castle. The knight tells Reinhardt to get going, asking if he has ridden a horse. He hasn't. The knight reassures Reinhardt, confident his horse can carry them both. He tells him to follow so they can escape. Dyrus suddenly appears before them, introducing himself to Reinhardt and the other knight. The knight speeds off on horseback carrying Reinhardt, who wonders where they're heading. Meanwhile, Reinhardt remembers the demons he saw earlier and wonders why they are in this place. The knight rides off with Reinhardt. Someone shouts after them, calling for Sir Dyrus. The knight explains that those demons are prisoners from the recent battle. Guards discuss they are investigating near the Demon King's castle. Reinhardt states he understands the gravity of their situation as he rides off with the knight. The guards question the situation as they survey the landscape outside the castle. The knight and Reinhardt run into another person who asks, "Who are you two?" The knight salutes Lieutenant Dyrus as he arrives at their location. Dyrus questions their presence. The knight explains that Reinhardt has important information for Sir Francis. A report arrives. Sir Francis has died in battle fighting against the Demon King's remnants. Reinhardt is speechless, shocked by the news. What? Sir Francis died in battle. Filled with rage, Duke Salerian curses the demons and realizes the princess has no allies. They overhear the end of a conversation, but are quickly dismissed by Salerian's men and told to leave. Gripping his head, Valier mutters, "I knew things were working out." The news hits hard. Sir Francis was murdered by demon insurgents. No. A horrifying proclamation echoes as Burdus reveals his murderous intentions towards Charlotte. Lying bloodied next to Charlotte, Francis' death was no accident. Burdus needed to silence everyone, no matter the cost. Sir Francis was lured to the castle, betrayed, and brutally murdered. "And killed," echoes, revealing the princess's survival, but Burdus now declares Charlotte a target. The gravity of Burdus' words hangs heavy in the air like a storm. Desperate Valier thinks, "No, I can't give up." Think, "Hey, look, kid." A hushed voice says the true reason Sir Francis was in danger is about to be revealed. Burdus continues, as well as the princess. A knight wonders if he can trust Burdus now. According to Charlotte, most of the military is on Burdus' side. Burdus declares that he has no one else to trust now as Valier trembles. The hushed voice continues. He told him everything, being locked up with the princess. He thinks to himself, if that's true, the knights killed Francis. The knight agrees that's probably what happened, solidifying the suspicion. Valier is asked if he's trying to save her. Burdus, in full armor, now understands the situation and declares, "That's how it is. All right." A lieutenant begs Burdus' pardon as Burdus vows to assist the princess. The lieutenant tells Burdus that anyone joining his group will be important. Burdus is wary, he can't trust him yet. They leave thinking there's nothing to do at the Demon King's castle, save Charlotte. Before they can leave, a lieutenant stops them, questioning Burdus's declaration. "One moment, Lieutenant." Burdus smirks to himself, clutching his bolo tie and exclaiming, "I have a good plan." Burdus acknowledges the escape plan. The idea of looking through the demon's supplies was smart. They enter the supply room, but it seems someone was already there. That was me. Burdus wonders aloud if demons stole supplies after the Demon King died. That was me. Burdus shows the lieutenant a mass teleport scroll he had already searched. It seems to be a demon magic-based teleport scroll. Burdus suggests grabbing other useful scrolls too. Burtis enthusiastically reveals he found a scroll book, but a knight mutters that Francis was imprisoned. Now armed with all the scrolls, Burtis exclaims, "We got it all. Time to put the escape plan into action." They make their way down the corridor. "Are you sure this is the way?" A lieutenant suddenly appears, grabbing Burtis' arm. "Be quiet and come this way, boy." "Huh, Lieutenant." Guards declare someone's here. They saw them enter the Demon King's castle. Burtis, realizing the situation, thinks this has become troublesome. He remembers his family power. With Burtis' family ties and strength, some want to make him emperor. Burtis sits on the throne, lost in thought, contemplating his next move. The Salirian Duchy's knights are high-ranking nobles, not just ordinary soldiers. A guard realizes that Burtis killing Sir Francis was very possible, a total pain. "Don't worry, we will find them." But the knight is thinking, suspicious of how easily Burtis found those scrolls. Burtis considers how the guards could possibly catch them. A mysterious power awakens in his eyes. The knight says, "It'll be best for you to come out obediently. Someone is about to be found." He mutters that the princess is quite the pettysome person, looking down at Burtis and Valier. The guard is furious that Burtis is trying to hurt the Princess Charlotte. The guard thinks it doesn't feel good to kill a young civilian about to escape. The lieutenant yells, "Stay back." Burtis thinks to himself about escaping the Demon King's castle. Burtis is terrified of dying again, especially after just dying from high blood pressure. Burtis pauses in surprise, then notices a horrifying demonic figure emerging behind the guard. Huh. With a magical surge, Burtis casts a paralysis spell on the unsuspecting guard. A stone gargoyle statue stands silently. In comics they move, Burtis thinks fearfully. The guards arrive to back up their lieutenant, unsure of what's happening. Wait, what is? The lieutenant is shocked. The stone statue is moving. He readies his sword. The demonic figure lunges. It seems Burtis' paralysis was ineffective against him. The guard shouts for the commander. The stone statue is moving now. Suddenly, Burtis wonders how the statue moved. The knight seizes the chance to escape. As the demonic figure towers over them, a loud voice declares, "Run." A scream rips through the air as chaos descends within the Demon King's castle. The horse gallops forward, kicking up dust. Burtis asks, worried, why the gargoyle statue has moved. Burtis claims ignorance but thinks to himself, that's a lie though. After entering the body, he sees Valier Jr.'s stats, an archdemon with demon domination. Burtis realizes he subconsciously activated the gargoyle with demon domination. He hopes no one suspects him. Burtis is relieved they escaped, but then an unknown noise startles him and William. They look back to see armored knights chasing them. Shit, are they already on our tail? Burtis, panicked, thinks, I don't want to die here. A thought crosses his mind. Wait. Burtis declares, all right, as he begins to cast a spell from his book. Burtis flips through his magic book. Horse and move ahead, a haste spell will help them escape. As the spell is cast, Burtis says, all right, we created some distance. The haste spell activates, surrounding them with magical energy. Burtis is shocked someone knows acceleration magic. A crossbow bolt whizzes past. Damn it, they're shooting their crossbows at us. Burtis flips through his book. I need a more surefire way. Burtis is surprised to see what spell is in his book. That magic is. William says that magic won't work, but Burtis knows because he wrote it. Burtis thinks the spell sounds ridiculous, remembering he wrote the temple curriculum with horse riding. I'm not using it on the knights. The horse illusion activates, glowing eyes appearing and with a ghostly whinny. Luckily, the knights are only trained riders, but the horse acts strangely. The knights and their horses cry out. Burtis is glad the illusion works. Burtis declares that the next spell is charm magic to trick the knights. The horse illusion whinnies, acting strangely, causing the knights to freak out. Burtis planned to use charm magic but now thinks he needs to get rid of more knights. Where are the mind magic scrolls? The horse is tiring. Salirian's knights will catch up to us soon, Burtis mutters in frustration. Burtis is shocked, muttering, those are those the surviving demons? The narrator explains they were captured after the Demon King's army lost. Burtis is stunned by a strange feeling. He asks, what's this feeling? Burtis realizes the feeling from the captured demons is similar to gargoyles. Suddenly, a monstrous roar erupts from the captured demons. What is about to happen? Burtis is stunned. What that orc is. Energy explodes from the orc demons. Burtis and William see the demonic aura blast past them. What? It just passed by us. The knights are confused by the demonic energy. What the hell is that trash? The orc demon violently roars, Gee, get out of my way, you filthy demon scum. The knights are still chasing, completely unaware of the demonic presence. The lieutenant urges their escape. William replies, nervously agreeing. Burtis realizes demon domination worked on the demons. He thinks they lost the knights. Burtis realizes they keep getting help from demons. He wonders what is going on. Burtis holds the scroll tighter in his grasp, realizing the situation's precariousness. But it's too soon to be suspected. Amidst the chaos, Burtis declares he must save Her Imperial Highness first. The knights guarding Charlotte's barracks call out, demanding they identify themselves at once. The knights confront Dyrus and William, demanding to know their affiliation and their audacity. Burtis looks ahead, determined, boy, it's time for Plan B. A knight screams, caught in the demon's attack. Burtis wonders if they've been caught in the chaos. A knight yells at Burtis, demanding he go and save Her Imperial Highness. Burtis confidently agrees. Yes. The knights block Burtis and William. Who are you? We're not letting anyone in. Charlotte peeks through, a look of shock. Burtis shouts for the princess to close her eyes as a bright light appears. Burtis shouts, Your Imperial Highness here. A golden light envelops Charlotte's hand. A mass teleport spell is activated. Burtis grabs Charlotte, escaping the immediate danger. Burtis yells to the Imperial capital Guardium. They are headed to Guardium. The mass teleport scroll activates and the words say, let's go. The story alerts Burtis that he has finished the prologue sequence. Charlotte has survived. The system alerts Burtis. The future has changed greatly, and the prologue ends. The story unfolds in the Imperial capital, Guardium, where the Demon King is dead. Guardium, modeled after Seoul, is where our hero was born. After successfully teleporting, they finally arrive. Since Guardium is the main stage, he thought he'd be touched, but was wrong. He can't believe how detailed the city is. Oh, right, he mutters. He snaps out of his thoughts. Charlotte appears confused in front of him. This is the imperial capital. He notices Charlotte's confused state. "I'm sorry for bringing you here," he says. "When I arrived, Sir Francis was already dead," Reinhardt confesses, looking down. Charlotte gasps, "Sir Francis died." But Reinhardt denies it, realizing something is amiss. "That's not it," he shouts, catching Charlotte's attention. "Someone helped us escape." Reinhardt sighs in relief. "We got here safely." He urgently calls out Lieutenant Dyrus. Reinhardt admits they were lucky to have the extra teleport scroll. Charlotte asks Dyrus who Reinhardt is. Dyrus introduces himself to Reinhardt, requesting to explain the recent events. Dyrus explains everything, from Sir Francis's death to their escape. Dyrus explains their situation, however, his expression turns grim, foreboding an upcoming struggle. A gargoyle conveniently stalls Salirian's knights at the castle to give time to the heroes. A prisoner goes on a rampage too. Reinhardt looks suspicious. "Even I think this is super sus." Reinhardt notices Charlotte looking at him with suspicion. "See, she thinks I'm suspicious." Reinhardt reflects, "It'd be weird if the princess blindly trusted me." Reinhardt, Charlotte, and Dyrus try to blend into the busy streets of Guardium. Reinhardt clutches a book, realizing this is his chance to escape. Reinhardt sighs, looking distressed. What a shitty-ass predicament. The weight of their situation is finally sinking in. Reinhardt lies on the streets. "Damn rotten world, I'm starving," he thinks. Reinhardt sighs, lamenting his lack of foresight in his previous life. Reinhardt wonders what's happening when a game-like screen appears before him. A notification pops up. "Congratulations, you've gained the authority to interfere in the world of the Demon King is dead. Why is it talking shit about my novel?" Reinhardt is surprised by the messages. Is it dropping truth bombs on me? Reinhardt is stunned by the system's challenges. What are these hellishly difficult quests? The system explains. Revision changes settings and gifts talents while preview checks altered timelines. Reinhardt stares at the messages, frustrated. This is too complicated, sum it up. A new screen appears, calling him an idiot writer. Reinhardt mutters, "Oi asshole, whatever, I should hold back." He decides to see more settings, thinking it might be a good cheat ability to stay alive. But he's short on points, so he says, "Huh." A screen prompt appears, writer's advice. What's the difference between clear and vague? The system provides Reinhardt with clear advice. Go to the magic item store. He plans to make money from magic scrolls acquired from the castle. Hey kid, who? The owner suggests Reinhardt become an artist. Everyone thought I was crazy. Reinhardt hopes to sell the scroll, but the shop owner has a different thought. Now I'm even hungrier. The shop owner asks if Reinhardt can redraw the scroll perfectly. Huh. Reinhardt realizes the shop owner wants him to redraw the scroll for profit. The shop owner thinks Reinhardt will copy the scroll. Yes, I'll give it a try. Reinhardt contemplates the risks. I'm not confident I can copy the scroll. Reinhardt wonders why no one recognizes the castle's scrolls as rare. He considers selling the fireball scroll. Reinhardt, not expecting much, enters the building. "Anyone here?" he calls out, pushing open the door. Reinhardt realizes the store is messy. He asks if they're even open for business. A red-haired woman leans in close, a curious glint in her eyes. A customer. Reinhardt states, "I came to sell a scroll." The red-haired woman replies, questioning his intent. An ominous aura rises. The red-haired woman decides to buy the scroll for a measly 2 gold coins. The red-haired woman gazes intently at the scroll, seemingly deep in thought. The red-haired woman stares at Reinhardt, demanding, "Where did you get this scroll?" He seems startled. Huh. The red-haired woman focuses on the scroll. "This," she mutters, her eyes gleaming. A magic circle glows above Reinhardt's head. He's surprised. The formula is only used by demons. Reinhardt curses under his breath as a hand firmly grips his collar. "Tell me." The red-haired woman grips Reinhardt's collar, her eyes glow intensely. "Why do you have this on you?" Magic exists in this world. Even he knows that much, but how it exists, he doesn't. He wouldn't be able to tell a human magic formula from a demonic one. However, she could see through it. Giving a proper answer is in your best interest. Hurry and say where you got this. Charlotte demands to know where Reinhardt acquired the demonic magic scroll book. Reinhardt curses, internally panicking at her intensity. He needs to hide the scroll somehow. A system message interrupts them. Activating that setting requires 3,000 achievement points. Reinhardt hesitates, debating how much to reveal. He finally blurts out that he stole it from the Demon King's castle. Charlotte's disbelief turns to fury. She doesn't believe his absurd story about the Demon King's castle. Tell me the truth. Reinhardt tries to calm Charlotte. He promises to explain everything that happened. Charlotte doesn't believe him because he hasn't received a reward or title. Reinhardt swears he isn't lying. Reinhardt recalls facing Salarian knights during his escape, fearing Prince Bertus's attempts on his life. Reinhardt sighs in relief, secretly believing he's a master liar. Did she buy his story? He hears Charlotte's soft words. She's speaking kindly, but he can't be sure it's genuine. Before Reinhardt could react, Charlotte embraces him in a tight hug. Reinhardt thinks Charlotte is kind. He's hungry and embarrassed. He wants to leave quickly. Charlotte suddenly places her hand on him. Reinhardt is surprised. Release curse. Just wait here for a moment, he desperately cries out. Reinhardt shouts for her to wait. If she undoes his transformation magic, he's doomed. Charlotte shouts dispel. As she begins chanting a spell, her hands glowing. Energy suddenly erupts from Charlotte. Reinhardt is shocked, uncertain what's happening. What the? Reinhardt's demonic form flickers as Charlotte's magic surges around them. He braces for the transformation to be undone. Reinhardt yells in surprise as Charlotte's magic hits him with a loud boom. Reinhardt, realizing the grave error, curses his situation. He's definitely in trouble now. Charlotte shouts, "Your Highness," but Reinhardt is confused and whispers as the magic hits him. Charlotte seems to have lost her memory from the blast. "Your Highness, do you remember me? Who are you?" The light explodes and blankets the whole surrounding area, blinding Reinhardt. Reinhardt's demonic form reappears, shocking both him and Charlotte. The dispelling magic seems to have failed. Oh. Charlotte stares, shocked. "A vampire, her fangs have emerged." "Yes, Your Highness." Charlotte is distraught. "Do you really not remember me at all?" Reinhardt replies, "Yeah, so who are you again?" Charlotte invites him to her room on the second floor. Reinhardt sighs, frustrated. He has no idea what is going on. Charlotte brings Reinhardt to her room. She offers him a meager meal. Reinhardt scarfs down the food Charlotte offered. He claims to not remember anything else. Charlotte is furious that Reinhardt would bring a dangerous scroll to her. Charlotte introduces herself as Elleris, a member of the Demon King's army. The vampire suddenly announces, "I will serve Your Highness from now on." Reinhardt wonders if he wrote such a setting. A cute giggle turns into a sinister face. "Also, there is something you must know." While Reinhardt eats, a narration reveals there are other demons in the capital. Meanwhile, two dangerous demons are lurking in the imperial capital, plotting their next move. As the demon who personally kidnapped the imperial princess, Sarkigar infiltrates the human world. Charlotte thinks to herself that she should be cautious around Reinhardt. What about Irene's wild dog? The narration reveals that Elleris is in charge of funding a demon infiltration squad. One of them is the leader of a giant gang. She muses on Reinhardt's amnesia, noting how odd it is. Did he really lose all of his memories? Reinhardt wipes his brow, relieved that the curse dispel didn't reveal his demonic identity. Either way, I'm relieved. As Reinhardt tries to understand, a mysterious voice declares its apathy towards rebuilding the demon world. Reinhardt recalls a war, a past he never wishes to relive again. It was far too gruesome. Elleris wonders why Reinhardt is indifferent to the demon world. Reinhardt states he doesn't want to be king. Reinhardt sits in awkward silence after the explosion. Charlotte murmurs, "Okay," seeming to accept this strange situation. Elleris apologizes for her earlier behavior and asks Reinhardt to rest. He tries to leave. Hey. Reinhardt wonders if he's being too sensitive. What will Charlotte do next? Elleris stood still as if remembering something. For a moment, she looked happy. Reinhardt, overwhelmed by the dispelling magic, questions what just happened. Everything is a blur. Charlotte stares at Reinhardt in disbelief. "A vampire," she mutters to herself. Reinhardt is enamored by Elleris's beauty. Is she something like a noble of the night? Elleris hears Reinhardt waking up. She acknowledges him, still referring to him as Your Highness. Elleris wonders what kind of person she was in the past. Reinhardt lays unconscious. Reinhardt thinks she saw through his facade. Never mind, I'll just go to sleep. Tomorrow, infiltration squad members will meet up. Reinhardt starts to wake up confused and overwhelmed. Well, Elleris wakes up in bed next to Reinhardt. What is this sudden development? Reinhardt frets, I've thought of everything, sharing a bed, what's going on here? A burst announces to summon the Demon King across the night sky. With the war over, the citizens celebrated the princess's resurrection. Ignoring the cheers, they board the Mana train from Aligar district. They head south towards the Irene Riverside. Exiting the Mana train, they finally arrive at Irene Riverside's Bronze Gate Bridge. So this is it. Elleris sighs that it is a bum's nest. They have no other choice. We're going to see the king of those bums. Sewer water rushes out of the Bronze Gate Bridge's drainage. This smell, Reinhardt comments, grimacing in disgust. A campfire blazes, illuminating the bums gathered at the sewer entrance. Splish splash, the pair wades into the sewer water. Be careful where you're walking. As I thought, Elleris, you're here. A figure lies defeated before her. Elleris yells in surprise, spotting someone familiar. Loyar, down below, Loyar greets her, Your Highness. Loyar, a member of the infiltration squad, greets Reinhardt, His Highness the Prince. Reinhardt awkwardly greets him back. Elleris mentions Sarkagar is busy. She reveals Reinhardt has lost his memories. Loyar is relieved Reinhardt remembers their titles. Reinhardt asks him why he feels relieved, tilting his head. Reinhardt recalls ordering Loyar to act like a dog. I did that. Valier's past actions are brought to light, causing embarrassment. He apologizes for his behavior, hoping for a fresh start. Reinhardt and Loyar clasp hands in a silent agreement. Elleris looks on. A solemn atmosphere hangs in the air as the next chapter unfolds. Elleris suddenly strikes Reinhardt, asking if he's shaking a dog's paw. He yells out in surprise. Reinhardt stutters, apologizing for his clumsiness. This voice, he seems to recognize someone. Reinhardt is shocked by the voice and a bright light in the distance. Could it be? A familiar demonic roar echoes as a figure falls from the ceiling. No way. The Archdemon gasps, out of breath after his fall. Why, Your Highness, I was so scared. The Archdemon is on top of Reinhardt, yelling terms of endearment. Reinhardt struggles to breathe. A flashback reveals someone warning Reinhardt about Sarkagar. They are loyal to the Demon King. A figure pins Reinhardt down, gagging him. Sarkagar, you're a real headache. The scene shifts. Around a fire, others urge Reinhardt to rebuild the destroyed demon realm. The old man begins to speak again. Elleris cuts him off with a threat. Reinhardt thinks rebuilding the demon realm is fine, but he is just a kid. Okay. Reinhardt orders them to stop, questioning the importance of the Archdemon. The Archdemon is considered one of the strongest in the demon world. The demons were fighting amongst themselves, until one day one species united them. Reinhardt understands their value, asking what to do. The old man states he must get stronger. An old man suggests returning to the demon realm. Another disagrees, deeming it too risky to do immediately. Reinhardt declares they are in the heart of enemy territory. He will learn about humans to form a strategy. One of the men suggests they attend the Empire's educational institution, Temple. Reinhardt doesn't seem too happy about the idea. The old man says Reinhardt can grow stronger at the temple. W8. Reinhardt struggles against Sarkagar. I can't get out of this easily, help me, Elleris. Elleris has an amazing idea. Reinhardt panics, realizing the danger of being exposed at the temple. An unknown character's hands are holding a ring. Don't worry about that, they shout, dismissing the issue. An old man presents Reinhardt with a ring from the Dreadfiend. It can change appearances at will. Reinhardt shouts in protest, despite the plan to infiltrate the temple being decided. Someone mentions the possibility of an investigation into Charlotte's kidnapping. Are you in here, Daebun? A man notes that they are here, revealing Daebun, his trusted younger brother. Hey, Yura. Someone calls out Reinhardt. The prince looks like he recognizes the voice. Elleris warns using the Demon King's name is dangerous. Loyar suggests Hellscream and then Rich King. Elleris thinks Reinhardt's real name may be suspicious. Reinhardt yells for them to stop suggesting names. The old man then suggests just using the name Reinhardt. Reinhardt got a new face and identity with Loyar's help. Off to temple. Taking a bite of an apple, Elleris firmly states, "We have to raise this little guy." Reinhardt asks about tuition and Elleris raises an apple core. So. The sister is shocked at the idea of paying tuition. Her brother states they can't afford it. The other brother agrees. The most prestigious educational institution on the continent is the Guardia's Temple. The speaker sighs, "Daebun, can we really not cover it with what we earn?" Daebun looks down, resting her chin on her hand and thinks, "That's." The brother suggests using less of the gang's money, but his sister refuses. Daebun's brother raises his fist in the air, desperate. "Please, just cover the tuition for 1 semester for now." His sister, shocked, asks if he is considering a scholarship instead. Standing before Guardia's temple, the sister asks if they'd waive tuition for talent. The text explains that the temple waives tuition for talented individuals. He declares he's still an archdemon. He's confident he'll gain a talent at Guardia's temple. His sister is impressed. The brother explains that few people travel across Bronze Gate Bridge now. This is why their revenue is dwindling. The brother pauses with a hand to his chin. "Wait, why don't we change our way of thinking?" He asks if they should change their way of thinking. He has an idea. If customers can't come to them, they'll go to the customers. The brother notes the Mana train is coming and going, a place for escape. The brother proposes selling toys at the Mana train station. His sister approves the clever plan. Loyar pats Reinhardt on the back, cheering him on to get into the temple. The boys grasp hands to encourage one another. They seem to be preparing for something important. Daebun's siblings watch in shock as she acts like a dog. "Damn it," she shouts. Meanwhile, back at the gang hideout, the members drink and celebrate. They are laughing loudly while getting drunk around a fire. A gang member pours Reinhardt a drink. "Let's have a toast on our new family member." With drinks raised high, the gang members cheer loudly and celebrate their success. One of the gang members groans, clearly hungover from last night's celebration. Another thanks them for the drink. Reinhardt questions what the gang, after observing the celebration. He realizes the gang celebrating is actually them. Daebun makes money with the large gang she built through violence. The gang celebrates their silly name. Meanwhile, Daebun sees Reinhardt drunk and yells at the gang. Daebun angrily shouts at the gang for getting drunk. The others are surprised to see her. Daebun stops Reinhardt. "Let's go to the interrogation room," Loyar calls out to his brother sadly. Reinhardt slips and falls, indicated by a slip sound effect. He is falling hard. Daebun grabs Reinhardt, declaring she can't let him out of her sight. She questions what he'd do if he messed up. Daebun threatens Loyar, daring him to mess up again. She asks how he's funding the infiltration team and tuition. Daebun reveals she hid something because she didn't think he needed to know. He replies, "Is that so?" Daebun is serious as she asks if Reinhardt is doing anything that will harm others. He sighs, indicating the candy selling is just a front for something else. The gang helps the Guardia's Thieves Guild gather intel as beggars. He thinks that if he blooms his talent, he won't need the gang for money. Yeah, got it. He acquired an ID to enroll in the temple, which was surprisingly easy. He knew he had the skill to do it. Reinhardt points out the temple's admissions office. He says it seems to get bigger every time he sees it. Reinhardt marvels at the number of rich people applying to the temple. Daebun corrects him, it's the counseling office. A temple staff member explains those with outstanding talent enter without paying. Another comments everyone is here to be evaluated. Reinhardt is pushed forward by Daebun's henchman, as an automated announcement calls number 86. Reinhardt, Loyar, and Daebun are at the Imperial Capital's Administration Bureau. They are getting interrogated. The staff member deadpans, letting Reinhardt know they're at the admissions window. A man states he wants to pay the tuition for the school admission. Reinhardt is shocked and asks if he can do that. The staff member shares students borrow tuition from others. The staff explains you can't register with only one semester's tuition. Oh, that's just disgustingly cunning. He gives up. Reinhardt is tired of trying to get a loan. He asks about the talent test. The man wonders if Reinhardt is actually a genius. He asks the staff if the examination costs anything. The staff member sighs, saying they've come this far, so they'll take the test. Loyar encourages Reinhardt. He thinks Reinhardt is the discouraged one. The staff tells him to put his hand on the scanner. Reinhardt is certain he will use the Dreadfiend's ring if caught. He finds the talent test to be excessive. Before the assessment, a staff member apologizes, stating the machine is broken. Reinhardt asks if he can't do anything. Reinhardt tells Daebun not to lean on him. He doesn't think they know he's a demon yet. The staff member places his hand on a new orb. He hopes this one works. A staff member asks if it's broken again and confirms it worked before. Reinhardt is asked to hold it. As Reinhardt touches the orb, he questions if he's breaking the machines. Loyar is in disbelief. The temple staff member is shocked by the unexpected turn of events. How can this be? The staff member is shocked by the aptitude reading. He yells, "What is it? Aptitudes." The staff member explains aptitude alone isn't enough to get into the school. He still tells children their aptitudes. Reinhardt is shocked at the test results, asking what's going on. A bright, magical screen displays the potential aptitudes. It is stated, "I believe you were born with an aptitude for everything in this world." Standing before the temple, the results come in. You can use both holy and dark magic. The temple official boasts of Reinhardt's unique dual aptitude, immediately striking him with holy magic. Reinhardt cries out in pain. The official sighs in relief after striking Reinhardt. Reinhardt curses, clutching his chest in pain. Reinhardt falls back onto a magic circle. He thinks, "This isn't what I was aiming for." A kid shouts, "Buy some gum," as the title card exclaims, "What?" The official is shocked at the results. Infinite aptitude. Another says, "Shut up," annoyed by the spectacle. His body glows as Reinhardt smugly smiles at the absurd results. Infinite aptitude makes sense. Reinhardt muses that's why he has aptitude in every field. The official calls out, "Hey Reinhardt, you don't seem too happy." Reinhardt sighs, "Daebun, now I don't need to burden the club," he smiles, thinking. Suddenly a voice booms out, claiming credit for Reinhardt's newfound power. A voice claims Reinhardt should be grateful. "Ha, I was planning to join next semester," he laments while falling. Royal class members receive extravagant dorms and financial support as the greatest talents. Reinhardt internally laments being placed in Class A without enjoying normal life. Someone asks if he's in Class A. Reinhardt confirms that he is in Class 1A, the most elite class. He sighs. A red-haired girl asks Reinhardt if he is worried about something. He thinks worried. Reinhardt's internal monologue continues as a montage of his future flashes before his eyes. Reinhardt thinks Class A is full of arrogant students, but I feel pressured. Reinhardt prepares for the challenges ahead. I can already picture the villains in Class A. The red-haired girl says, "We will use our best efforts to support you." The red-haired girl states the temple allows students to leave campus, right? Reinhardt wonders why Elleris is pushing him to go. Reinhardt contemplates, "If I become powerful like Sarkigar wants, what if I start a new war?" The red-haired girl says that humans are lovable if you spend enough time with them. An unexpected delivery arrives for Reinhardt. "I've prepared you some clothes." Elleris asks, "Please take this." Reinhardt wonders this is. He inspects it. It's a necklace. Elleris asks, smiling, "Do you remember I said I was Tuesday?" Reinhardt wonders aloud if his vampire transformation began during a prior visit. A story begins, detailing the lost vampire clans. Reinhardt remembers the vampire clans, each specializing in different elements passed down through generations. Reinhardt asks if Elleris is the head of the Tuesday clan. Why give this to me? Elleris explains the necklace lets him use more fire magic. How about you give it a try, Reinhardt thinks, this lets me use fire magic. Reinhardt, now equipped with the necklace, thinks, I'll cast fire magic with my own power. Reinhardt is surrounded by blazing fire, casting fire magic with ease. Reinhardt is surprised he can use fire magic with his own power. Reinhardt wonders why the fire magic is so weak. It's almost like a flint fire starter. Elleris hopes Reinhardt doesn't get used to Tuesday's flames. He wonders if it's not a good thing. Reinhardt thinks about the necklace. I hope you understand why I gave it, Elleris said. Reinhardt thanks Elleris for the gift of magic. I'll keep what you said in mind. Elleris thinks she should not use the necklace until graduation day. She smiles, holding a secret. A voice says, Thank you, Your Highness. A response, Here, take this. Reinhardt is surprised by the amount of money. What's all this, Loyar? Loyar says all he can offer is money. Reinhardt takes the money, thankful. Bertus yells, telling Reinhardt he should go to bed. He plans to leave. The story shifts to recently. Tack, a sound is heard from somewhere. Reinhardt suddenly recalls something important. I've remembered a crucial problem. A face yells, I'll kill them all. Keyboard clicks loudly. It flopped again. Reinhardt scratches his head, remembering. It was something in the later parts. In the story, a gate opens and thousands of monsters pour out. Reinhardt realizes his mistake as he thinks, I'm screwed. The world faces annihilation and Ludwig sits, overwhelmed, wondering what to do. Ludwig panics, biting his nails. Fucking hell, he wonders if he should run and wait for the story's end. Ludwig is in disbelief that the world's ending. Below, a red-haired woman asks why others should pay for his actions. Ludwig grits his teeth, a cold sweat running down his face. I need to get it together. He realizes he caused this mess and must take responsibility. I need to go to the temple. Ludwig sees his royal class pass. He has to grow stronger by collecting achievements or fight the monsters. He resolves to act, no matter the cause of the world's impending doom. A surge of determination fills him. An announcement calls the royal class students to the dormitory lobby by 13:00. Time is of the essence. Ludwig is shocked by something. Whoa, it first hit me when I got to the capital. Ludwig is shocked his game settings materialized. He wonders how much money was spent on it all. Ludwig is overwhelmed by the academy's grandeur. The inside is even fancier. How will I find my room? A blonde girl taps Ludwig's shoulder, greeting him. Hey you're a new student, right? Ludwig replies nervously, Ah yes, hello. Ceres introduces herself as Ceres van Owen, the royal class president, and shakes Ludwig's hand. Ludwig nervously responds, Nice to meet you. Ceres reads a file. So your name is Reinhardt, no last name, Class A. Reinhardt is directed to his room, A11, and informed about the welcome party at 1 p.m. Attendance is mandatory. He thanks Ceres for the directions as she calls for anyone else needing guidance. Let's see which one is room A11. He finds room A11. Ah, found it, so this is it. He pulls out his royal class ID card to enter. Reinhardt is shocked by the golden light emitted but is already getting used to the magic. Oh, was that also magic? It doesn't feel shocking anymore. Ludwig is surprised by the luxurious room, larger than he remembered writing it. Whoa, what's all this? Ludwig is surprised by the room's size, reflecting on the imperial capital and temple. Reinhardt finds a gift box on his bed and wonders who it's from. He opens the gift box and finds a map, dorm rules, snacks, a notepad, and a pen. So it was a welcome gift. Reinhardt lays on the bed and flips through his book, musing, how nice, time to remember everyone. Reinhardt is writing down names when a message appears, all royal class to the lobby. As Reinhardt continues writing in his book, an announcement blares, all new royal class students to the lobby. The new royal class students gather in the lobby, giving Ludwig a rough idea of his classmates. Reinhardt enters the lobby overwhelmed. Even with prep, I recognize so few of them. Is my memory failing? Ludwig, now Reinhardt, furrows his brow with suspicion as he thinks. Reinhardt notices the upperclassmen of the royal class staring with intense glares. Reinhardt is surprised so many upperclassmen are watching. Why do they care about the new students? Reinhardt is suddenly tripped. Ugh! Someone apologizes and Reinhardt yells, "Ah, my foot, check if someone's behind you." The student who tripped him apologizes. Dazed, Reinhardt agrees but can't help but think, this guy, is he. Someone lends Reinhardt a hand, introducing himself as Ludwig with a friendly haha, and then asks for Reinhardt's name. Another student shakes Reinhardt's hand, saying they should get along. The welcome party might be starting. Looking at the protagonist, Reinhardt realizes the gravity of being inside his novel. Series announces that it's time to start the welcome party. Students head to their seats. Suddenly, an announcement booms in the lobby, commanding everyone to sit. There seems to be an extra student. As students question his abilities, Reinhardt wonders if his special admission is noticeable. Reinhardt glares, realizing, I'm certain that's going to happen. Perfect setup. An announcement rings out, demanding self-introductions, starting with student A1, Bertus de Guardias. A sudden realization hits Reinhardt, Bertus, but he should have been admitted under a fake name. Harriet de Saint-Ouen of A4 is announced, as others follow. Ludwig wonders if he'll make it to Bertus's turn. Reinhardt introduces himself to the upperclassmen. A student peers from the crowd, wondering. Reinhardt overhears others whispering about him, questioning his infinite aptitude. That's all. Bertus smiles sinisterly. Next, it's B1's turn to introduce themselves. Reinhardt sighs, knowing what's coming. Yes. Reinhardt is flustered. This is embarrassing, he says, but suddenly stops, noticing something strange. What the? Originally, that's who she was supposed to be. Nice to meet you all. I'm Charlotte de Guardias, B1. The structures of outside power hold no sway within the temple walls. Entry into the royal class depends on ability, not royal bloodlines. Bertus de Guardias is the hidden villain of the Demon King is dead, and he wields immense power. Bertus, seated on his throne, shows the power only the royal class holds. This could be the first step in realizing his ambition and power, but something unexpected has occurred. The first prince and princess of the empire, both entering the royal class. Bertus ponders this deviation from the original narrative. Did the plot change because the imperial princess and I should have died? Bertus thinks he should have kept his identity hidden longer this time. Bertus shivers, realizing his persona is all an act. Even I get chills. Duke Salirion's investment unlocks 3 vital combat talents for Bertus. The Empire seeks these for Master Class. Magic sensitivity and mana control are vital for reaching Master Class. Bertus becomes a swordmaster, meeting all the necessary conditions to ascend. Bertus realizes this can't be different from the novel, greeted by an unexpected guest. The problem is Charlotte de Guardias. Charlotte de Guardias, the first princess of the Empire, is ranked B1, but in Class B. Charlotte wonders if she's behind Bertus, since she's not in Class A. Bertus thinks that skill alone doesn't make her A1. The thought of them in the same class is troublesome for Bertus. Did they expect them to join royal class for the first time? Charlotte declares all are equal in royal class regardless of birth. Let's not quibble. A strange feeling washes over the temple as the first princess questions it. A message arrives from the royal palace. This normally wouldn't be allowed, but it's special. From the moment this letter is announced, applying to both within and outside of the temple, the letter is making serious threats. The other party will be permanently deprived of their right to the throne, the emperor decrees. The imperial decree isn't just directed at Bertus and Charlotte, it involves everyone. Yours and compete in good faith. It looks like Bertus and Charlotte are not fighting. Someone stammers, stumbling at the implications as Bertus coolly questions the temple's decree. William Francis stutters, questioning how he could have been so impolite. Bertus suggests a warning is more concerning than direct punishment for the throne. William nervously agrees, knowing the risks. Someone realizes Bertus is a pro and mentions Erich de Laferry from Northwest. Whispers swirl around Bertus, commenting on his ease and comparing him to the emperor. Excuse me, Erich. Burtis asks if he has a minute but then notices Reinhardt leaving. He then says he wants to say hi to his peers while apologizing. Burtis comments that Charlotte should be A1 but the staff were cautious. Reinhardt is spotted. Ellen, ranked A2, calmly brushes off any concerns about the throne challenge. I don't care much about stuff like that. She was initially A1 in royal class but Burtis knocked her back to A2. Her revenge talent is too good, her real name. Artorias, the hero who defeated the Demon King by sacrificing himself. He died. An explosive truth reveals Artorias' little sister as Ludwig approaches. Oh, there you guys are. Ludwig waves his hands, greeting everyone with a bright smile on his face. Burtis questions if it's time for the first royal class event already. Burtis is marked for approaching someone of a higher class and makes contact. Oh, we meet again, Reinhardt right. Burtis shakes hands with Ludwig but someone close has their reservations. Let's have a good time, yeah you too. Burtis smirks, sizing up the new rival Reinhardt. This will be interesting. Someone clicks their tongue, finding the situation irritating. Oh, he approaches, nice to meet you, you're A4 right. A burst of power sends a clear message to Reinhardt. Fuck off, these are the Class A dorms. The student questions if he's allowed in Class A dorms. Someone off-screen says they dunno. Someone grabs Burtis's hand, interrupting his plans with Reinhardt and Ludwig. Someone interrupts, but it feels like shit when a Class B meddles where the Class A lives. The other students question Harriet's actions, while someone gasps in fear at her power. Charlotte glares with an angry expression, determined not to let it go. Burtis smirks, recognizing Harriet de Saint-Ouen from Class A4 coming up to him. Harriet struggles to address Burtis, aware she must impress him. Burtis cheerfully greets Ludwig, but looks like he's mistaken because Harriet overhears this introduction with a disgruntled look. Burtis, with a serious expression, warns Harriet that some friends are sensitive. Burtis offers Harriet the use of a beeper, willing to instruct her if needed. Harriet begins, hey you know, but Burtis responds, Behind Burtis, a student comments on his angelic nature with admiration. Someone nearby overhears, responding in surprise, oh. Reinhardt is shocked, gaining 100 achievement points just by listening to Ludwig. Harriet suddenly shouts, hey, wait, to Burtis. Reinhardt, enraged at the measly achievement points, curses. He questions the small amount of points he has, deeming it inconsiderate. Burtis sighs in frustration, realizing he has to go through with his plans. Reinhardt examines the supernatural abilities subsections, all cost 10,000 achievement points. He sighs, that's a reach for now. Reinhardt's eye twitches as he thinks, but something is brewing inside him. Reinhardt vows to earn more achievement points before buying an ability. Burtis, glowing with an unknown power, confidently thinks, I'll decide after I see how things go. Despite the royal class having a separate entrance ceremony, it was simple. The head teacher introduced each class to their homeroom teacher. They went to private class buildings near the dorms. Burtis muses that the entrance ceremony was insignificant. He wonders if royal presence changes anything. Focus, he says, determined. The students murmur amongst themselves. That's Class A's homeroom teacher, a student whispers to their companion. Mr. Eppenhauser states that they will have common classes in A1 on Monday and Thursday. Mr. Eppenhauser assigns Burtis as temporary class leader, stating suggestions should be reported. Mr. Eppenhauser adds, however, there is an exception, with a serious look. He tells them to call him if a big fight breaks out. Mr. Eppenhauser warns the students to be cautious and learn about each other. Someone is clearly confused by his instructions as the teacher hears Sir. Mr. Eppenhauser asks what happens if they need to interfere. He declares that they will be under special management. Mr. Eppenhauser states that although students are valuable, they're dangerous. He asks if they weren't warned upon entry. An ominous aura surrounds Mr. Eppenhauser, as he declares special management for the students. A student asks Mr. Eppenhauser if he's capable. With confidence, Mr. Eppenhauser states he's been doing this for 10 years. The students are left to contemplate the seriousness of Mr. Eppenhauser's words. He thinks to himself, that's odd, A11. The student stutters, completely confused. Mr. Eppenhauser coldly states, "Follow me." A staff member calls out, "A11 Reinhardt." Reinhardt responds with, "Ah, yes," unsure of what's happening. Mr. Eppenhauser states Reinhardt's potential is infinite but currently without a talent. He shares information about gifted students. Mr. Eppenhauser explains Grant's and Cliffman's specializations, adding that the others have their paths. Someone hesitantly agrees. Mr. Eppenhauser states that Reinhardt has potential but no specialization, asking if he needs help. Reinhardt wonders if this is help. Mr. Eppenhauser notes that some students' aptitudes differ from desires. He claims Reinhardt is better off choosing his own path. Reinhardt declares with gritted teeth that he wants to learn a supernatural ability. Mr. Eppenhauser explains that Reinhardt's aptitudes were shortened because he has infinite aptitude. He wonders if it includes abilities. He slams his hand on the desk, saying, "Without abilities they can't attend." He notes it's different for the royal class. Mr. Eppenhauser warns Reinhardt he could be kicked out if he can't prove himself. "Then we'll have you attend one lesson." Burtis gets his schedule and thinks it's final. Mr. Eppenhauser warns Reinhardt that supernatural abilities are hard to manifest. Reinhardt nervously responds, "Yes, thank you for your help." He is grateful for the information. Reinhardt, observing Mr. Eppenhauser opening the door, admits, "He's a better teacher than I thought he'd be." A student asks, "What are these guys doing? Do I have something on my face?" Mr. Eppenhauser startles Reinhardt by stating that he has no talents. Mr. Eppenhauser startles Reinhardt, telling him he has no talent at all. Another student confronts Reinhardt, doubting his abilities. Reinhardt looks up annoyed and asks why. Someone shouts, addressing the class, questioning if Reinhardt truly belongs in the royal class. The student scoffs, emphasizing the elite nature of their class. "How did you even get in?" The student smirks, settling back in his chair, anticipating Reinhardt's humiliation. Reinhardt, annoyed, tells the student to shut up. The room falls silent as everyone anticipates his reaction. Reinhardt retaliates, questioning the student's audacity and the validity of his claims. The student is taken aback by Reinhardt's sharp retort. "You think you're the head of admissions or something." Reinhardt asks if the student thinks he is the head of admissions. Reinhardt explodes, asking why the student is talking at all. He calls him Mr. 10, making the student sweat nervously. The student, with a sinister grin, grips Reinhardt's head, insulting his aptitude for magic. Reinhardt sits, radiating power as his classmates watch him warily. Whispers erupt after Reinhardt's outburst. Even he wonders if he went too far. Reinhardt questions whether he should continue down this path. He can see the fear and anger welling up inside the student. The student wonders why Reinhardt is still staring at him with that grin. "It's making me worry." Title card shown, the Demon Prince goes to the academy. Reinhardt stops, thinking about the student and the situation. "Damn Burtis, his staring kept distracting me." Reinhardt eats his sausage, regretting his argument. "I shouldn't have fought with Kayer." Reinhardt thinks how things are going exactly as planned, while Kayer coughs. Students watch Reinhardt and discuss him in hushed whispers, a question mark lingering over the tension. Laughter echoes through the halls. Some are headed towards a class, some to be class. Reinhardt sighs, regretting his outburst. Meanwhile, someone asks Harriet if she has a talent for magic. Someone agrees, then someone asks Charlotte if they want to taste the food. Meanwhile, Harriet's magic explodes. "You need to eat meat to recover faster." Ludwig says he can't stomach it, as Harriet tells him to eat up. Reinhardt thinks, an introvert like me doesn't need to worry about extroverts. Someone is screaming and crying for help. The students are getting yelled at for not running in the right form. Someone yells that elementary education is over. Students are being forced to run laps after their meal. The students struggle to physically train themselves in this intense training environment. One thinks, "I'm going to die." A student questions why they are a wizard and another asks if they feel like dying. He seems shocked. The student shouts that Reinhardt would be dead in a real battle. People scream and run. A student lags behind, exhausted. The instructor gestures ahead, urging on another student. Ludwig gets yelled at, with someone asking if he's tired after only 20 laps. "Let's keep it up." Reinhardt thinks he might need to develop his stamina first. Someone yells, "WOAH." They comment that Ellen is fast, just like in the novel. Ludwig is only equal in stamina. Reinhardt struggles doing sit-ups. An instructor shouts at them to tighten their abs as they struggle to continue. The student questions the curriculum, feeling like he's in the army. 42. Up above, someone rests, clearly exhausted. I'm envious, although she's sitting out because she's sick. The instructor yells at the exhausted students to keep going. One more lap. Someone comments that 80 wasn't enough as they collapse on the floor doing sit-ups. He is struggling so hard he asks for help. Sweaty and exhausted in the locker room, Reinhardt groans, already regretting the physical training. Reinhardt exits the locker room in a towel while someone struggles to reach the top lockers. Reinhardt finds showering refreshing, but he questions the mixed-year class setup. Someone else dreads repeating the training on Thursday. Reinhardt struggles to get ready, thinking about the dreaded Thursday training. For real. Someone says Reinhardt didn't seem fit earlier. Reinhardt questions why he cares. The student retorts, his rage intensifying. How dare someone as lowly as you talk back to me? Reinhardt pauses, his anger simmering. Man, let's not, shall we, try talking sh*t again. The student continues to provoke Reinhardt, standing confidently while addressing him. The student exclaims it's nonsense that someone like Reinhardt joined Class A, someone without any talent. He's cut off suddenly, a threatening aura emanating from Reinhardt. The student coughs, blood spewing, shocked by Reinhardt's aggression. Do you not understand words? Reinhardt unleashes a swift punch, hitting the student square in the face. Reinhardt casts a spell to protect himself, while someone glares from below. A brawl erupts in the locker room. Students yell, trying to break up the fight, but someone falls. The student in the brown shirt is being held back, shouting, I'm killing this motherfucker today. A friend yells to calm down. Amidst the chaos, voices shout, what are you doing? Get them off. And somebody get the teacher. The principal observes the situation with a frown. Below, two students scoff at the situation. One student explains he was attacked and cursed at. Another student explains that the teacher broke it up quickly. The older student silences the orange-haired one. He asks incredulously, did you really hit him first? Yes, I did, comes the reply. One student claims he did it first. A rebuttal follows with, but Kair is blamed for undermining the temple's authority. The beaten student is shocked by the accusation, questioning when he ever did that. The principal observes the royal class students, seated around the table. A stern voice demands an explanation from A11. Another voice says Kair remarked that his Class A admission was unjust. The principal urges him to continue. He admits his words were harsh to Kair. The student slams his fist on the table, still defending himself. But Kair tried to physically suppress me. The principal demands an end to the bickering. He asks A11 to explain the temple's authority remark. A sinister grin spreads across Bertus's face. Got him, number 10. He declares his intimate knowledge of his characters, including Kair. Before all the royal class students, Kair has been cornered into a difficult position. I made this world after all. A11 explains he took Kair's words as an insult to the Guardia's empire. I could not control my rage, he apologizes. A11 suggests Mr. Eppenhauser has traits he can exploit. Down below, Kair looks shocked and grabs his head. Mr. Eppenhauser is revealed to have the trait of patriotism. He glares intensely angry. Visibly nervous, A11 stutters a response. The principal demands to know if a student blasphemed about the temple. Cornered, Mr. Eppenhauser stutters out, that's. He is met with a cold demand for a yes or no answer. Mr. Eppenhauser stares blankly. He now has to choose between lying or treason. Mr. Eppenhauser is a patriot, fiercely loyal to the Guardia's empire and the temple. Mr. Eppenhauser is hesitant, but at the same time he is a fair teacher. He will realize Kair spoke thoughtlessly. Kair looks to himself, hands to his head, and that I overanalyzed things. An unseen character demands, you stay here. Someone is being kept in place. The principal orders A11 back to the classroom. Yes, A11 responds, standing up. The student realizes, rumors will quickly spread throughout Class A and B, making the situation even worse for Kair. From behind the windows, Bertus scoffs at Kair, who he dislikes. Kair's challenge is complete and he is awarded 200 achievement points. He looks confused and asks, "What is this?" Now Kair sees a challenge, get first place for 4,000 points. He then thinks to hurt Ludwig or Ellen. The principal tells everyone to be quiet as he walks over to the seated students. Burdus reflects on Kair's predicament, confident in his plan. "My voice is stronger than my fist, kiddo." The teacher instructs the students to submit their forms to number 1. One student answers okay. The teacher advises those unsure to stay and others to get permission. A student nearby yawns, feeling tired after physical education training. One of the royal class suggests getting food off campus. A student abruptly stops in his tracks. About. The teacher announces that about half of the students are still deciding their forms. Someone shouts an expletive filled with rage. He wonders if the furious voice belongs to Erich. Someone yells, "This sucks, stay out of my way." Another voice sighs, annoyed. The girl with red hair and eyes would stand out anywhere. Scarlet, ominous symbol. A furious voice booms, "Stay out of my sight, you got it." Burdus thinks that Elaris was bullied only because she has red hair. He hates her. The text explains that red hair and eyes are symbols of ominous archdemons. Elaris endured the bullying because she had nowhere else to go without the temple's protection, abandoned and bullied for her hair. Burdus is irritated about the girl with red hair. That continuity is complete shit. Kair realizes Elaris will befriend Ludwig and stop being bullied eventually. Looks like it's time to get my first talent. Kair stares intensely at his challenges. Let's take a rough look at them. Kair's eyes widen as he recognizes something familiar. Wait, this is. Reinhardt wakes up in his room at the academy, a new day dawning over Guardium Temple. Reinhardt is shocked to see self-suggestion on the skill list. There's only one reason it's bad. Self-suggestion is too powerful, able to turn impossible into possible. This was a scrapped cheat ability. With a low point requirement, Reinhardt purchases self-suggestion. Time to check my status. Reinhardt double-takes at the lock symbol beside self-suggestion in his status screen. What the hell is that? Angered, Reinhardt throws his pillow as he yells, realizing he got scammed. Level 0 and locked. Reinhardt sits up, realizing what he bought was a useless, dormant ability. Reinhardt realizes he must purposefully face danger to awaken the ability. Damn it, the prices went up. The only way to awaken the power is to force the situation. Reinhardt appears in a bloody room. Reinhardt decides to collect achievement points, a less dangerous option, confessing how humiliating. Reinhardt pauses, wait, isn't this one might be possible. The new active challenge appears, get a confession 1,000 points. Inside Guardium Temple is a large commercial district, bustling with students and civilians. The others compliment the food, but Erich bluntly says it's edible and nothing more. Erich states it's fine while making an airplane with the food, just a bite. Despite expectations, the three quickly became friends. The reason why, the talentless hothead. The recap calls out Reinhardt, A11, for swearing and punching a classmate. Another student asks why Erich was scolded, hearing him ramble about disgracing the temple. One of the students wonders if they should go to a new clothing store. A student asks if all the girls in their class are pretty. Erich spits out his drink in response, PBBT. Annoyed, another student asks for gossip, demanding to know who the prettiest is. Another student believes it's the princess. You're staring at a fruit you shouldn't dream of. One of the students admits he finds Lady Grants to be attractive. Gasp, another shouts out. Excuse me, could we chat for a little bit? Charlotte asks Reinhardt. Reinhardt is flustered at the princess's request. Me, Charlotte waits for his response. He blurts, let's go out now. Two students watch as Reinhardt and Charlotte leave together, muttering to themselves. A notification appears, please read. After Charlotte's invitation, another student's love letter asks, is there a lady you are dating? Erich blushes and denies it. Charlotte asks, then what do you think about me? Reinhardt replies, me too, I fell in. Shocked, Charlotte thinks love at first sight as she runs from Reinhardt. I'll see you next time. Reinhardt yells, confessing his love as Charlotte runs. Other students watch Reinhardt's bold confession with amusement. Erich stares at himself in a compact mirror and angrily questions Charlotte's actions. Suddenly, Reinhardt is thrown out of bed, face-planting into the floor. Gah. Reinhardt jolts awake again, hearing voices shouting, "Come off already, what is going on?" Reinhardt lands on the floor with a thud, thinking, how did it come to this? He sold his soul for points. Challenge complete, receive a confession, it worked. The challenge list updates with an added condition. Reinhardt complains that it's too stingy. The system displays the challenge, go on a date with Kono Lint as a pretty girl. You were watching, do you wanna die? Reinhardt thinks that getting caught up in weird stuff is not the time now. I can buy a new talent. He glares at the challenge list, deciding to go through with selling his soul again. Reinhardt arrives outside Kono Lint's office. Knock knock, he prepares himself. Reinhardt wonders if it's worth it. I sold my soul, now my dignity, he needs points for a new talent. He's choosing his target carefully to avoid humiliation. No rumors, even if he's rejected, it'll work. As Reinhardt hits the floor, a menacing presence echoes, care about me even after this. Ellen Artorias A2 appears. A powerful explosion shakes the area. The surrounding environment is destroyed by a large force. Someone is operating some kind of machine that releases steam. Hey, number 2, calls out a blonde man. The dark-haired girl practices her sword skills. Bertus watches her, nervous. She won't beat me up, right? Bertus, still fixated on his achievement points, prepares to deliver a letter. This is how I feel, please read it. The girl blankly stares at the letter she's given. In a cuter style, she refuses Bertus's confession. He simply says, okay. Bertus touches the wall with a look of despair. System notifies him, write a love letter and get rejected, 200 points. The next day, a determined instructor shouts, swing faster. The instructor says, you can't even cut a turtle moving that slow. Bertus grits his teeth, frustrated. Bertus strains during training, thinking, seriously, I'm about to go crazy. She really doesn't seem to mind. Bertus is distraught because he still feels flustered. Even in swordsmanship theory lecture earlier, he thinks. Bertus thinks sword theory and practice combined make things worse. Someone mocks his relaxed state. Even after dozens of swings, the instructor is still not satisfied with Bertus' stance. Stretch harder, he commands. Suddenly the instructor shouts, Kuhaha, I like you a lot. The instructor asks, wasn't there another student from the royal class? Reinhardt answers, yes, present. A girl expresses her shock, you're in the royal class. She wonders how he could forget doing roll call earlier. Someone asks Reinhardt and Ellen if they are okay with something. Ellen confirms. Murmurs fill the room as Reinhardt and Ellen step forward to spar. The crowd observes Reinhardt and Ellen. They express high expectations for the upcoming spar. The instructor smirks, telling them to go all out. Reinhardt prepares for his spar with Ellen. A dispassionate Ellen watches as Reinhardt prepares to fight. Fight, announces the instructor, ready for the spar. Reinhardt exclaims in surprise, what? Where? Ellen strikes at Reinhardt with supernatural speed and power. Reinhardt, surprised, says ah, as Ellen's sword strikes him down, defeating him. Ellen smashes Reinhardt with overwhelming force. He is sent flying backwards. She casually says, oops. The crowd is shocked when Reinhardt collapses, but a voice says, you can just say so. Reinhardt wakes up with a start, remembering Ellen's attack. A voice tells him, you're awake. Reinhardt wakes up in the infirmary with a jolt, exclaiming, arg. He learns he was out cold. Reinhardt, slightly sweaty, reacts to the announcement of Ellen's easy victory. Ah, is that so? Reinhardt wakes up in bed and thinks, then I should go eat something. Suddenly he is surprised. Huh. Earlier, Ellen had Reinhardt pinned. Hey, you don't have to do this, Reinhardt tells her. Ellen's voice echoes in Reinhardt's head, pointing out his weakness. He wonders if she pities him as she helps him to his feet. I can walk on my own. Reinhardt asks if Ellen wants to eat. Ellen replies, yes. She mutters, no matter what, it's not my fault. Reinhardt smirks, contemplating revenge for his defeat. He states, you fell for it. Set in East Asia, the comic introduces one of the most representative traditional dishes, cheonggukjang. Reinhardt enjoys his meal, reminiscing about his achievement points. He invites Ellen to try it, but she remains silent. Reinhardt offers Ellen the dish he was eating. He says, I'm getting my pay back. Reinhardt feeds Ellen Chungukjang saying, here comes the train, but she can't stand the smell. Reinhardt slams onto a table in the cafeteria after force-feeding Ellen the Chungukjang. Reinhardt laughs maniacally while preparing to feed Ellen again. He declares, a cold, aloof 17-year-old, there's no such thing. Ellen struggles to drink something while Reinhardt controls his strength. He then thinks about having a bite of the food. Ellen struggles to eat the Chungukjang on the verge of vomiting. Suddenly, she has an intense reaction. Ellen's face is impassive, and she appears to be struggling with something. Ellen struggles to swallow the Chungukjang, then she gags and throws it up. Reinhardt wonders who can eat this well. He is shocked that Ellen consumed it all. She refuses another bite. Inside the magic theory class, the teacher instructs students to apply the formula. The teacher explains how things will get harder. Ludwig gives up, startling Elleris. The teacher starts the magic sensitivity training and instructs the class to relax. The teacher announces the end of the lesson and wishes the class a magical day. Everyone suddenly wakes up. With the magic sensitivity training over, the teacher calls attendance for the class. A3 Liana de Grants, here. Cone Olint answers here, looking exhausted. Meanwhile, Reinhardt is knocked out on his desk. As the roll call continues, the teacher seems surprised. B1 Charlotte de Gardias, he calls out, clearly not expecting her presence. The student increases the force and thanks the teacher for the instructions. Yes. Gardias awakened her supernatural ability. What will happen now to the class? The teacher notes only few can understand. Charlotte is already with her special instructor. Someone feels the aftershock. Above, someone notes her ability might be fake. Below, Bertus confirms a crepe in Main Street. Someone wonders if Bertus knows about Charlotte's new supernatural abilities. Charlotte tells someone to teleport and they agree. Someone analyzes the situation. Someone realizes Bertus wouldn't ignore Charlotte if she didn't have an ability. Someone yells not to look as Lint is revealed to be the one undressed. Reinhardt is approached by Charlotte. The group in the distance wonders what to do, but Charlotte orders Salerian's knights. Drive me to my mental limits. Someone suggests putting them in mortal danger without killing them. Bertus finds the request ridiculous and sighs to himself. Charlotte looks down on Reinhardt. She warns Reinhardt that he'll fail if he continues this way. All right, then I guess I don't have a choice, someone responds with really, in a hallway of the temple. Bertus calls out, hey, number 11, followed by is temple a joke to you? Bertus mocks Charlotte's infinite aptitude. Charlotte replies she is doing it for her own gain. Don't come to the class. Charlotte mocks Reinhardt for not being able to bake a potato. He is surprised. A royal scoffs at Reinhardt's ability. Reinhardt asks him to apologize for insulting him. He then warns him about using status in temple. Charlotte warns Reinhardt if he continues this way, he will be reported to the student council and counts down. 1, 2, 3. A royal yells at Reinhardt with fire magic in hand. Someone questions what's going on. The royal yells out asking what he's doing. Reinhardt falls backwards, shocked. He says, how dare you lay a hand on me? He argues it's self-defense given the attempted arson. The royal, enraged, shouts he'll kill him, summoning fire magic. Reinhardt gets hit in the face. Someone warns him, saying they won't expose his actions out of kindness. The royal yells after taking a hit. The royal asks if he thinks that worked as Reinhardt is face first on the ground. The royal is on the floor and shouts an expletive. Reinhardt is on the floor and groans. The royal asks why Reinhardt is bothering him. He says he's just trying to attend class. The royal threatens Reinhardt. He warns him not to use his abilities again, threatening to dig out his eyes. Someone places their hand on Reinhardt's forehead, reminding him about the homeroom teacher's advice. Let's be careful of each other. It's dinner time at temple. Other students are enjoying their meals as Charlotte makes a request. At dinner, someone warns Reinhardt, don't make eye contact, be careful. Someone clicks their tongue in annoyance. Reinhardt and other students are seen eating dinner. Tusk. Above, someone says the vibe is messy because of them. Below, Reinhardt wonders about punishment. Bertus approaches Reinhardt at dinner asking Reinhardt, can we talk? You have time, right? Berta smirks at the situation, seemingly amused by the ongoing conflict. What is he planning? On a balcony overlooking the academy, Bertus offers Reinhardt some tea as he looks at him with a serious face. Bertus pours tea. Reinhardt accepts, but internally he remains cautious of Bertus's intentions. Bertus stirs his tea. I called you here because everyone is telling me to do something about you. Bertus states calmly that people are scared of Reinhardt, hinting at the power he possesses. Bertus believes Kayer's words were also at fault, trying to calm Reinhardt. Bertus clarifies Reinhardt's motivations. It wasn't the personal insult, but the insult towards the temple. Bertus smiles and says, Reinhardt, I really like you. Reinhardt is shocked by this declaration. Reinhardt trembles, thinking Bertus' words are scarier than a death threat. Bertus thinks Reinhardt's patriotic speech went a little too far after his declaration. Bertus states it's impossible Reinhardt targeted the Schwarz family without backing or hiding something. Reinhardt seems confused by this logic. Bertus wonders who dares defy the Schwarz family's power. Don't tell me. Bertus scoffs at Reinhardt's actions, dismissing it as childish imagination gone too far. He ominously adds, so let me ask you, Reinhardt. Bertus asks if there's something backing Reinhardt up. Reinhardt confidently replies, of course not. Bertus continues, stating Reinhardt is only strong because someone is backing him. Reinhardt replies, confused, Reinhardt confirms his actions weren't motivated by outside forces. He notes Bertus seems curious about what he's hiding. Bertus squints as he sips his tea, seemingly unconvinced by Reinhardt's words. The scene shifts to a group of demons as one says, it's off with my head the second he finds out I'm a demon. Bertus laughs maniacally, proclaiming Reinhardt is like an empty nutcase. Bertus laughs, stating Reinhardt was smart to be honest with his answer. He wouldn't have bothered otherwise. Bertus internally scoffs, judging Reinhardt's inability to properly hold a teacup. He questions his noble status. An ominous presence is about to befall Reinhardt, as someone calls him a bitch. Reinhardt answers sure but states lies won't work. He believes Heinrich can't touch him. Bertus considers Heinrich might leverage the Schwarz family name for protection, though he doubts it. Reinhardt is shocked that the first person who likes him is the novel's villain. Bertus asks if Reinhardt loves the Empire. Reinhardt replies, of course I do. Bertus asks why and he says money. Bertus states he benefits from Reinhardt living in a palace. Reinhardt retorts, a pauper, yeah, I'm from the streets. Bertus smirks, stating it's Reinhardt's loss if he dislikes him. He claims to like Reinhardt even more and his motives. Bertus asks if Reinhardt knows about ants, establishing that they have a societal hierarchy. Bertus says he doesn't care about the ant hierarchy. Reinhardt asks what about it. Bertus dismisses commoners and nobles as ants beneath him. He wonders why Reinhardt would care about their status. Reinhardt states he doesn't care if he's seen as an equal. Bertus is impressed he said it. Bertus thinks, look at this twisted little son of a bitch. Bertus claims power lets people be bastards, but Reinhardt is merely a bastard without power. Bertus remarks on Reinhardt's intelligence and eloquence, which are uncommon for someone from the streets. He'll discover Reinhardt's secrets over time. Bertus states empty-headed talent means nothing to him. He's seen playing cards happily with some of the royal class students. Bertus continues that raw talent isn't enough, it's better to have brains. Your recklessness is a problem. Bertus admits he now knows how Reinhardt must have lived. He adds he's not a pauper. Bertus tells Reinhardt to control his temper, stating that he'll try, but only if he gets along with the children. He laughs. Bertus calls out to Reinhardt, his sly smile hinting at a veiled threat. We'll discuss things when I'm sure of your loyalty. Bertus ends the conversation with a sharp smile, telling Reinhardt to have a nice night. The scene shifts away to the academy, accompanied by a voice calling Reinhardt names. A splash of blood stains the ground as Reinhardt remembers Bertus' warning about controlling his temper. As Reinhardt stands victorious, covered in blood, a voice echoes, "You don't even have an ability backing you up." The crowd watches in shock. He remembers he doesn't have an ability. Damn it, what are you acting up for? The twisted expression of a lurking figure contrasts Reinhardt's bloody aftermath and him saying, "Fuck my life." Regret washes over Reinhardt as he remembers Bertus's cryptic warning. Someone asks, "Shall I go see our cute puppy?" as Reinhardt walks away. Someone asks the Imperial Prince how he likes the temple, but he replies, "Well, it's okay." He replies, "Well, yeah, you figured that out quickly." Someone asks if it'll be dangerous. She feels like it's going to be dangerous. He thinks he can escape with his ring if it fails. He wants them to investigate something with Sarkigar. He asks what it is. He confirms the princess has supernatural power, you say. He sighs, anxious about what he doesn't know. She states, "There's also something I have to tell you." He then asks, confused, why not? He wonders if visiting certain people is suspicious, even unnecessary. Someone shouts that he was followed. He states that those who are running away are classmates and to be careful. He admits, "I was careless to be followed." He thinks they're curious about his confidence. He resolves to avoid the Rotary gang. He realizes there's a chance that the prince put some people on me. Someone says, "Hey, the beggar came back, huh?" Someone confronts him, "Hey, crazy bastard, you were with the beggars under the bridge." The noble questions Reinhardt, "You're just a simple street beggar and not even a commoner." Reinhardt nonchalantly admits, "Yeah, I'm from the streets." Someone accuses him of making fun of beggars. Someone wonders why he is so confident. Reinhardt thinks their prodding is annoying. The nobles are taken aback by the reveal of Reinhardt's background as a street beggar. One stutters, repulsed by his association with beggars. The noble stutters, demanding they stop. Reinhardt retorts with a mocking threat of stabbing them in the back. The noble is grabbed, struggling as Reinhardt warns them to not touch him. Reinhardt, now angry, yells if he should give them a reason to apologize. The noble, enraged by Reinhardt's words, shouts, "You punk, go ahead and try, what can you even do to me?" Reinhardt threatens to blind the noble. He asks if they think he won't stab them. Reinhardt's tormentor sneers and threatens him, "Follow me again, I'll turn your eyes into juggling props." As Reinhardt is being held, he's told that he'll see him last. "Kids should just play like kids," says someone watching. The noble smiles sadistically, implying he will blind Reinhardt. He hears someone or something coming. A girl mutters, "That crazy psycho," as those around her stay silent. He wonders, sigh, "Was it Erich and Kair that followed me?" Reinhardt reflects on the rumors and Bertus's advice. He hears a knock. Reinhardt is annoyed by the knocking. He wonders if they want to pick a fight again. Reinhardt is suddenly interrupted as he questions who is there. It's Ellen. Ellen stands at the door and silently asks, "Did you come for more Chungukjang?" Ellen asks they want us to go to the gym. Reinhardt is confused by the sudden request, asking who does. Ellen eyes the students doing push-ups. She states, "I don't know, a senior, I think." Two students watch Ellen walk away. One wonders aloud, is he the last one? Ellen commands, "Why are you just standing there? Get on the ground." Or, "Are you refusing?" Ellen stares down students doing push-ups. The order is clear. Why are you still standing there? Ellen watches the students doing push-ups. She remarks, "Guys, I think your friend is a bit hard of hearing." Two students are forced to crawl forward. Ellen demands they hurry and listen to what the senior is saying. Reinhardt questions why he is being made to follow a senior's orders. Suddenly, everyone is frozen as if turned into stone. What the hell?" Ellen exclaims in surprise. The mysterious figure questions Reinhardt and considers slapping him to teach him a lesson. Reinhardt, unfazed, claims to not know her. Annoyed, the girl questions if he knows who she is. The mysterious figure threatens to flick Reinhardt's forehead if he doesn't leave. Charlotte, terrified, questions his actions. Before Reinhardt can react, the students surrounding the girl begin to cry, overwhelmed with fear. One student struggles to stand, confused. The mysterious figure demands an explanation for their inability to stand. A student tries to speak up, visibly shaken by the mysterious figure's power. He's struggling to get his words out. Reinhardt laughs, seeing this as tradition for each generation of Class A students. A student wonders if the seniors are putting pressure on Class A to win. The mysterious figure calls him a beggar. She asks if he'll take responsibility. The mysterious figure crosses her arms, impatiently waiting for Reinhardt's answer. Reinhardt scoffs, "What responsibility? What do you think could go wrong?" A student wonders what if the seniors think badly of them. The mysterious figure sighs, asking why she, a beggar, has more pride. The figure says that if Reinhardt causes trouble, she will kill him. He wonders if she means what she said. The figure questions Reinhardt if he just says whatever he is thinking. What? The figure threatens Reinhardt, promising a lasting mark on his cheek. Reinhardt taunts her, calling her threat nervous. The figure questions how Reinhardt dares call her an idiot. Reinhardt responds with, "Yeah, idiot." The figure is enraged that Reinhardt called her an idiot. She asks who hurt him. The figure points at him, calling him a dirty bastard. Reinhardt wonders if she needs backup after a loss. She demands to know his name. Reinhardt answers plainly, Reinhardt. She scoffs, implying he's just another noble. Reinhardt states he is not a noble, wondering if she's deaf. She questions if he's royalty but is still wrong. Reinhardt declares he is a beggar from the streets, asking if she has a problem. The girl wonders if pride is limited to the rich. A menacing figure smirks. The girl clenches her fist, clearly frustrated with Reinhardt's attitude. Reinhardt is suddenly struck in the gut. He coughs up blood. The girl realizes he is the real one. Reinhardt coughs up blood as the mysterious figure declares their deal. An intense beating is about to begin. She states that if this was her time, Reinhardt would be dead. Another punch lands. Reinhardt is then brutally punched in the face, sending blood flying. He's clearly outmatched against her. He questions what happened, completely caught off guard by the sudden beating. As she grabs Reinhardt's hair, she asks if he was trying to hit her, then calls him a wuss. Reinhardt coughs. The mysterious figure calls him a bitch-ass junior. She questions if he wants to die. She asks if he took that beating too badly, ready to continue. He grabs her leg, confused. The mysterious figure strikes Reinhardt again, calling him a fucking piece of shit. Reinhardt, enduring the brutal assault, tells the figure to let go. He warns her not to struggle. She wipes her hands, belittling Reinhardt by saying it's all a high schooler amounts to. He screams out loud. As some students yell at her to stop, the mysterious figure demands that they stay where they are. As Reinhardt lies injured, the figure threatens to twist him, calling him eunuch. A student cries out for help. The students are shocked, thinking the situation is crazy. A flashback shows a child begging for mercy. Back in the present, Reinhardt smiles through the pain, stating, "I don't wanna." As Reinhardt lies beaten, the figure declares this is enough for now. She threatens him. Reinhardt, beaten and bloody, realizes he is in trouble trying to escape. The girl tells him to take his bootlickers with him. As the figure scolds Reinhardt, students call her crazy and a pervert. Reinhardt thanks them for the praise. Despite the brutal beating, the mysterious figure asks why he isn't acting more honorable. Reinhardt is silent. The figure says that she wants to have a nice talk with Reinhardt. Reinhardt, beaten and bleeding, wonders why she wants to talk now. He asks what it is. After her brutal beatdown, Adriana reveals her name and class, as Adriana A2. Reinhardt is a soft-hearted girl forced to hurt Reinhardt. It's her duty as Class A representative. Adriana questions if Reinhardt could act like this in front of the upperclassmen. Tell them to come here. Reinhardt, clutching his neck, asks Adriana who told her to do this. Adriana orders someone to tell them to come, but not today or tomorrow. Reinhardt, sitting comfortably, hopes that Bertus will lay down as well. Someone sips their tea, visibly upset. "So you sold my name?" they ask. Their companion replies simply, "Yeah." He ponders the implications. What will happen when the seniors arrive? The companion wonders aloud, what if I just bow down? Suddenly someone yells, "Your Highness," and faints. "I see you're still guilty of selling the imperial prince's name." He asks, "Is that how this works?" He says that a fair punishment is culling 3 generations. "I'll use you too." A dark figure orders someone to observe her, and let me know if you find anything unusual. The blonde asks if he is getting along with the others well. He clicks his tongue. He mutters about Harriet running to Bertus. He then notices someone behind him, wondering what's up. She HMPFS in annoyance, sending sparks around her. He is shocked, wondering if she really just did that. He wonders what's up with her behavior, deciding it's cute. He stutters, calling her an idiot. The girl is flushed with anger, demanding he not call her that. I was just saying it, he replies, scratching his cheek. She wonders why he's so agitated. His words ignite her anger. They say you're smart, but are you an idiot? The girl yells out seriously, a clear sign of her building anger. She accuses him of trying to provoke her into misusing her status. He denies it. He chuckles, saying he gets interesting reactions from calling her an idiot. Now he questions her reaction to him. Reinhardt tells her she's cute, causing her face to turn red. Charlotte is flustered, demanding to know what he just said. Charlotte is fuming from Reinhardt's earlier words. She wonders, what the hell was he even talking about? As Monday assembly begins, Reinhardt is called up, seemingly the focus of attention. A white glove is slapped down. He's being challenged to a duel to restore honor. He looks at the glove, trying to grasp the situation. A duel. The challenger says Reinhardt can set the time and place for the duel. Someone yells, accusing Reinhardt of cheating and calling him names. Another voice questions leniency, recalling Reinhardt's disregard for rules. He can either accept the duel or disgrace himself. He retorts to the challenger, accepting the duel, his eyes narrowed. Charlotte is taken aback by the duel challenge. What? She questions, stunned. Bertus smirks, confident that Reinhardt won't fall for the same trick twice. Meanwhile, Charlotte is watching the scene unfold, visibly annoyed by the situation. He declares that he won't let him get away just because he's weak. Charlotte is startled by the duel. Bertus asks her to talk before classes start. She declines, saying she must see her teacher. Reinhardt tries to reassure the boy that Art won't kill him. Charlotte yells, frustrated, demanding that he apologize to Art. Reinhardt states that it's life. If he gets hit, he gets hit. Charlotte is shocked by his apology. Reinhardt thinks that he accepted the duel because he needed a harrowing situation. He needs to unlock self-suggestion. Reinhardt is nervous about the duel, but he can't leave his ability locked. A system message appears showing the event. Reinhardt states that he'll be rewarded either way, regardless of outcome. Reinhardt realizes he'll be rewarded either way for the duel. Why? He wonders as the duel date is set. The duel is set in the training room. Mr. Eppenhauser will observe. He shakes at just the thought of the duel. Reinhardt is bombarded with questions from worried classmates about the duel. He is still trying to process the gravity of it. Charlotte is silent, annoyed by Reinhardt's remarks from before. That easy-eyed. Ludwig is struggling with the pressure, the world spinning around him. Someone calls out, asking him to wait. Ludwig hears footsteps approaching and questions if the person means him. The blonde girl confirms his identity. Yeah, you said you were Reinhardt, right? He replies, yeah, so. She presents him something. Look at this. He is confused, asking, what's this? The blonde girl yells, demanding he tell her what the paper is. He pauses, then thinks Bertus told me to keep an eye on Charlotte. Ludwig examines the paper, realizing it must be about him. He wonders why Charlotte is involved now. Ludwig reads the strange note, realizing it's an invitation. He wonders what's going on with this message. Ludwig wonders what Charlotte wants to tell him. He says it'll be their first proper talk since the Demon King's castle. Ludwig glances at Charlotte, noticing her unusually cold expression. He is seated in a chair. Ceres stands by the door, seeing Ludwig enter. Oh, you're here. Ludwig is interrupted before he can question Charlotte. An authoritative voice tells him to shut your mouth. Ludwig is stopped by Charlotte. She's angry. She grabs his collar. I know who you are. The demon in disguise realizes the Imperial Princess uncovered something else. The Imperial Princess is inescapable. Bertus warns against excusing the Rotary gang. Bertus, annoyed by her persistence, asks, what do you want? He's starting to get a headache from this boy. With a fierce gaze, Charlotte orders to find Reinhardt. She holds up a picture of him, determined. Charlotte's stern order echoes as Bertus stares ahead, realizing the implication. That's me. Charlotte continues her order, demanding the capture of Reinhardt. Do not hand him over to Bertus. Bertus gulps. The princess threatens to destroy him and his entire operation. The title card appears, reinforcing Charlotte's command. Make sure you find him. Lying on the floor, Bertus sighs. I can't believe she told me to find myself. It feels strange. Bertus is realizing Charlotte thinks he can find Reinhardt easily. Burtis realizes Charlotte's background check on him was thorough. However, her judgment is clouded by emotion. Burtis reflects she thinks he's suspicious after talking to Dyrus. Charlotte is desperate. Burtis realizes Charlotte's single-mindedness. She's using him to find Valier. She's overlooking obvious clues. Burtis thinks how seeing her desperation makes him feel guilty. He's scared of what might happen if he keeps lying. Burtis thinks revealing himself would endanger Elaris, Loyar, and Sarkigar. Hey. Burtis yells at Charlotte, calling her a beggar. Charlotte laughs, amused that he actually responded to her taunt. Charlotte holds back a laugh, calling Burtis out for getting baited. Burtis scoffs at Charlotte's taunts. Someone mentions the upcoming duel. I heard he's really scary. Charlotte questions Burtis, baffled by his apparent fear yet willingness to duel. You agreed, right? Charlotte mutters she'll watch him get hurt. Burtis, unimpressed, responds, sure you do that. Burtis is concerned he must be strong enough to win in 2 weeks. If not. Cliffman vows to get stronger to handle the gate incident in the future. He starts training. Charlotte swiftly cuts through the air with her lance. She thinks Ellen doesn't talk to anyone. Cliffman swings his wooden sword, remembering his swordsmanship lesson. I need actual practice. Burtis relives the moment of his wooden sword breaking against the post. He crashes into the practice post again, sighing he has a long way to go. A sharp sound echoes as Art faces 2 figures with his sword drawn. Art deflects an attack as the incoming magic strikes his blade. The 2 figures are working together, he's outnumbered. Art is sent flying after the magical attack. Damn, my hands are all scratched up. Art looks at his bleeding hands. I can't trust my disguise forever, I have to train. Burtis realizes the third years dodged the duel. He mutters fucking trash as Ellen approaches. A mysterious girl appears before Art. Redina asked me to help you. Someone recalls the events. She did, that little senior, what did she say? Ellen continues by telling him he can't beat Art just because he's training for 2 weeks. Ellen tells Burtis that Art isn't as bad as he thinks he is. Ellen wonders what he's doing. What are you doing? Burtis seems to be pondering about something. Art lies on the floor, defeated and exhausted. The girl picks up his sword. A woman, likely Redina's acquaintance, attacks Art with incredible speed and precision. Ellen swings her wooden sword with immense force. Burtis is stunned. What is she doing all of a sudden? Ellen grabs the practice sword, challenging Art to a duel. You try, Junior. The girl easily subdues Art, commenting on his exhaustion. Stop, this hurts my pride, he groans, confused by the sudden power. Art is surprised by her words. She tells him she wants to be a paladin. Divine magic heals. She notices Art feels better now. She encourages Art to try again. Art seems motivated again. His expression is determined and focused now. Art picks up the wooden training sword. He says he'll give it a try again. Sounds of UWAK and crunch echo. Your basic physical ability is seriously bad. Art yawns, looking exhausted, saying, I feel so tired because I woke up earlier than usual. A student asks Art if he waited long. Charlotte says good morning to Art. No, well, good morning. She states that she just wants Art to become strong enough to survive. Charlotte says that Art should worry about himself. She states she can't even call him weak. Charlotte smirks, telling Art that he needs to work hard. Art is exhausted and catches his breath. Art struggles, wheezing as he tries to keep up. Charlotte tells him to run faster, not wanting to leave him behind. Art runs, struggling but managing to keep up with Charlotte. This feels so weird. He feels like this is cheating. Art asks Charlotte why he keeps talking while out of breath. Charlotte chuckles. An intense 3 hours were spent on stamina and strength training. Art attempts to lift weights. More, he manages to say. Whenever Art was about to collapse, Adriana restored his stamina with her divine powers. He sighs, returning after Charlotte's advice. Art suggests they find something to eat while they wait for breakfast. The royal class cafeteria is open. The royal class cafeteria has high-class chefs and ingredients. It's open for late-night snacks. Ellen is also in the royal class cafeteria. It seems she enjoys the food. Art observes Charlotte eating in the royal class cafeteria. He wonders if she has a high metabolism. Art asks if that's all the food left. Charlotte confirms, mentioning bread was available too. He asks if it's good, but she says not really. Art watches Charlotte eat, thinking to himself that he doesn't want to steal her food. The kitchen is nice. Art grabs some meat and eggs. I'm too tired to make anything difficult. Someone is cooking up something delicious, looking in a large wok. Charlotte devours her food with gusto as Art stares. Suddenly, a voice echoes through the cafeteria, "Hey." Art holds a pan with meat and eggs. He asks Charlotte to eat together with him. Art answers that he didn't even try cooking. Charlotte is frustrated, wondering how he'll improve without trying. She says, "If you don't know how, you gotta learn." Charlotte states that she's ready to eat her food. Art is shocked, wondering how she eats so fast. Art tells Charlotte not to eat too fast like a starved beggar. He's worried about her health. Charlotte compliments Art's eating abilities but notes he ate most of her food. Art states that he's still hungry and that they have classes together. Charlotte agrees to eat with Art later. She's going to eat first. The dark-haired girl is surprised by Art's claim. An ominous aura surrounds Art. Art clenches his fist, realizing his stats increased slightly. My strength increased by 0.5, still. He's surprised his magic power increased a bit for an unknown reason. It's a stepping stone. Art looks in the mirror. He says, "The only thing I can trust is this body." Art stands determined. He says, "I have no time to be lazy. I have to awaken self-suggestion as soon as possible." The temple food is not agreeing with someone who seems ready to throw up. Reinhardt is surprised that she still ate the temple food despite not liking it. She continues to fill her bowl. Reinhardt says she must really like free food. She continues eating. Reinhardt thinks to himself that he'll pay next time. He seems annoyed. Reinhardt thinks he can't believe she agreed to eat with him again so easily. The scene shifts to a blazing disaster as the gate crisis unfolds. He reflects that he pushed himself to defeat that senior, just 1 year above him. He reflects on his complacency, forcing himself onward to swing his sword. Reinhardt resolves to become a terrifying figure, startling himself at the thought. He gently pats her head, a soft gesture amidst the storm of his thoughts. She's there again, eating a huge pile of sausages. Reinhardt heads to the kitchen to look for food too. Reinhardt is shocked, wondering where all the food disappeared to so quickly. If not that, what is Ellen munching on? Reinhardt is shocked, asking her if that's all she's eating. She eats raw sausages. Reinhardt says she should grill them. She replies she hasn't tried the oven. He says grilling them makes them too salty. Reinhardt is exhausted and thinks cooking will lead to injury. Ellen eats a raw sausage. An unknown voice demands obedience. Ellen asks if she's doing it right. Reinhardt approves, "Yeah, you're doing good." Reinhardt is sarcastic about Ellen's knife skills, asking if she doesn't know how to cook. Ellen nods yes. Reinhardt instructs her to add the rice and stir it slowly in the pot. Ellen wonders if the food is done. "Yeah, it smells amazing, right?" Reinhardt retorts sarcastically. Reinhardt exclaims that it's still hot. Ellen continues to eat, ignoring him. She savors the hot food. Reinhardt warns Ellen that the food is still hot. Ellen doesn't listen and stuffs her face, mumbling her reply. Ellen slams the pot down in frustration. Reinhardt asks if she's okay. She chugs down water and says yes. Reinhardt says we made it together. Ellen continues eating the food, smiling to herself. Reinhardt stares in disbelief. He wonders about her strange taste. He storms out of the kitchen, frustrated. Damn it, that Ellen. Reinhardt is worn out. He realizes, she reminded me of just how petty I am. Reinhardt is surprised to see a servant in his room so late at night. What's this? Reinhardt wonders if Bertus or Charlotte sent the servant to investigate him. He asks the servant what's wrong. The figure announces, "Long time no see, Your Highness." The servant stammers, recognizing the intruder. The servant reveals Sarkigar, who greets Reinhardt. Sarkigar says, "It's me, Sarkigar, your highness." Reinhardt asks how he got in. Sarkigar says it was not difficult at all. Sarkigar admits he came to report what he found, despite the risks. Her supernatural powers are controversial, even within the imperial family. Reinhardt is told that Mr. Mustang and another teacher are aware of the situation. He asks about the risks involved. Sarkigar realizes he can use disguise to learn secrets, but they are hard to retell. It means the imperial princess power is something she wants hidden. I think so as well. The servant explains that it was a wise decision. She adds that she has her own report. Reinhardt sighs, frustrated. Ah well, it's just something to do with the princess again. The servant is surprised by Sarkigar's revelation and responds with, "Pardon." Looking at the temple, the servant warns the Imperial Highness that it is too dangerous for her. Thinking of the gang leaders, Reinhardt believes their heads would go flying if he did anything. "That's not something you should say, Mr. Kidnapper, but he's lost and without a plan should he fake his death. They must satisfy her, but how will the princess react afterwards? Let's just." He thinks if he fails to satisfy her, she might dispose of him. Reinhardt suggests they act like they are working a bit. The maid asks him to clarify. Reinhardt thinks Bertus will keep him close as long as he's useful for his plans. Reinhardt realizes that Charlotte might protect them if they work for her properly. He plans to use both Charlotte and Bertus. The Imperial Princess smiles wickedly. "How I admire your endless wisdom." Reinhardt retorts at her to stop it. Someone coughs, looking at Reinhardt with exhausted eyes. This is Sirius Jr. Sweating, Reinhardt rests as Adriana says, "Let's take a break, then continue to run." Reinhardt suggests she use her divine power to train. Adriana is surprised by the suggestion and thinks about it. Reinhardt compares using divine power to a stimpack. Adriana says once he levels he's on his own. She tells him to run again. He agrees. Reinhardt is confused by the group that has appeared. That's Ludwig, right, out for early morning training. Reinhardt thinks that due to him, Ludwig is just a room ornament. The Class A's call out Reinhardt's talent. Reinhardt watches Ludwig run his morning laps. "I have no idea what butterfly effect this will have." She asks if he wants to hear her bragging or what's on the menu. He replies, "Beef stew, I had it at home once." Charlotte is about to add salt to the beef stew she is making. Reinhardt asks her why she is. Charlotte is about to add something to the beef stew. She has a jar. He is holding spices. "Don't you know what's obviously missing?" He adds that it is overcooked. Charlotte stares blankly. Charlotte glares at Reinhardt holding a knife. He tells her to redo it. Charlotte has finished making the beef stew and asks Reinhardt to taste it. "It's edible now, right?" Reinhardt replies yes. Charlotte eats the beef stew she made as Reinhardt thinks, "Of course." Reinhardt asks if she can eat all of that. Charlotte says she can. He replies, "I see, good for you." Charlotte is furious. "I think you'd be able to ruin a family by eating a meal." Reinhardt questions her logic. Charlotte eats the beef stew that people from the temple told her to eat. Charlotte finds Reinhardt's reaction hilarious and says, "This is so funny, my stomach hurts." At the time, the stupid sadist had no idea how wrong he was. Charlotte says you shouldn't do it like that, then orders Reinhardt to do it again. Reinhardt realizes Ellen will take revenge on him for his bragging and nagging. Ellen teaches Reinhardt all of her sword techniques. He thinks he should be happy, but he's just angry. Ellen taught Reinhardt that swordsmanship is more than fighting with swords alone. Reinhardt learned swordsmanship, attack methods, and suppression techniques, all by getting beat up, of course. Ellen tells Reinhardt he's dead while beating him with a wooden sword. He thinks he's actually going to die. Reinhardt finds this training weird as Ellen strikes the side of his sword. He grunts in pain. Ellen tells him not to let go of his sword. He thinks his palms will be torn up, but she says they won't. After training for what felt like forever, Reinhardt's wooden sword snaps. The sword he was holding broke with remains scattered everywhere. He wasn't hurt but surprised. After the sword broke, Ellen comments on his experience. Reinhardt is in pain as he goes to get a new sword. Reinhardt thinks going to lose. He watches as Ellen places a new wooden sword in front of him. I know that I'm gonna lose. Standing firmly, the person asks if they want to win. Reinhardt answers affirmatively, but no matter what, there's a way. The princess says there is only one way for him to win. Reinhardt's eye reflects her words. Reinhardt reflects on Ellen's silence. Meanwhile, a junior approaches Ellen wanting to ask something. Ellen asks if Reinhardt knows what her classmates meant about winning the duel. Reinhardt admits he doesn't know how to win against Art. He clenches his fist, accepting whatever outcome awaits. Valier Jr. feels stronger from the week's training, thanking Adriana and Ellen. Valier sees his combat assessment is still an F+. He feels discouraged. Reinhardt prepares to duel Art, a large crowd looking on. 2 students notice him. There are more people here than I thought. The crowd shouts support for Reinhardt. Unbeknownst to them, one student is composing a symphony in his head, inspired by the upcoming duel. Another student wonders why Ellen is present. Ellen watches the duel intently while the crowd observes. Everyone's here, even Charlotte, someone says, feeling intimidated. Hey, beggar. Harriet whispers to a classmate about Reinhardt's impending doom. You're going to be in real trouble today. The classmate nervously replies, don't say that. The duel begins, a palpable tension hangs in the air. Looks like all of Year 2 Class A are here. Someone notes Art, Adriana, and Redina are watching the duel. Let us proceed, Eppenhauser states before the duel begins. He explains the incident where Reinhardt harmed Art's honor. Eppenhauser announces, I shall just read what is written in the report. The report details Reinhardt's past transgression. Eppenhauser confirms Art's reason for the duel and Reinhardt agrees. Art states his demands for winning the duel. Art demands Reinhardt apologize and pledge loyalty and respect to the seniors. Eppenhauser acknowledges Art's demands. Very well, may the god of war be on your side, teacher, he says. Art raises his hand and declares, as a participant, I wish to appoint a champion. Eppenhauser questions Art's choice, finding it absurd. Art responds, my champion is Year 3 Class A number 7. Mayarton appears. He questions if the person in front of him called him when the prince was around. Mayarton taunts Reinhardt, let's see if you're as good as your mouth. The implications of champion selection hit home. A new realization dawns. He realizes Ellen was suggesting he choose her as his champion. With her, victory would be more certain. Reinhardt wonders why Ellen seems so displeased with Mayarton's appearance. She also looks ready to fight for me. The proctor declares the duel's terms. He will stop it if needed. Someone suggests the duel continue until surrender. Eppenhauser questions the suggestion, curious about the reasoning. Art confirms his conditions and asks if Reinhardt understands. Reinhardt agrees to them but wishes to add one of his own. Ellen contemplates her options for a champion. She has every right to nominate someone for this duel. Reinhardt declares he needs no help. Mayarton seems surprised, asking if he's serious. Someone is ominously laughing at Reinhardt's decision to refuse help. 2 students remark about the situation. Junior, what are you doing? Ellen remains silent, deep in thought. A voice suggests Mayarton be forbidden from using his left arm. Mayarton casually agrees. Reinhardt recalls his training with Ellen. He realizes how important the offhand is. Reinhardt acknowledges the slim odds but readies himself. The proctor declares the duel shall commence. Mayarton asks, you scared? He realizes Reinhardt isn't wary. He plots a surprise attack. Mayarton launches an attack, his determination etched on his face. As their attacks collide, the force is immense. A student is shocked, wondering how strong he is with one arm. Mayarton smirks, boasting about almost dropping his sword from Reinhardt's weak attacks. The force of the attack sends Reinhardt reeling back, grunting in pain. Reinhardt realizes Mayarton is only hitting his sword. He understands Ellen's training now. She knew this would happen. Reinhardt coughs as he is hit by a powerful blow. He struggles to withstand Mayarton's strength. Mayarton exclaims, UWAARG, taunting Reinhardt for dropping his sword after a single blow. Mayarton stands over the fallen Reinhardt, ordering him to pick up his sword. Reinhardt coughs, struggling to get up. Reinhardt, injured, coughs as Art's words echo in his mind. Why talk big if you can't back it up? Art swings his sword down, creating a shockwave. An injured Reinhardt thinks, although you have nothing. Art stares down at Reinhardt. Stay down, you punk, he prepares to strike again, Kurg. Eppenhauser watches with crossed arms as Art demands, surrender, hurry up and say it, you'll feel better then. The students can't believe what they're seeing. Why isn't the teacher stopping them? Others sob for their junior. Reinhardt coughs up blood, struggling to stand. Art mocks him, impressed by his stubbornness. Such a sincere student. Reinhardt grits his teeth, his hand clutching the ground as he declares, hey, you son of a bitch, I won't win, but even if. He pants, knowing what's coming, but declares he'll get one hit in. Above Reinhardt, Art looks down with a crazed look, declaring, have you gone crazy? One hit is more than enough. Reinhardt realizes he forgot his plan to awaken powers by straining himself. You have used the revise function. Reinhardt's anger flares, pushing him past the pain. I'm so fucking mad I don't care anymore. This was the moment he struck Art's sword. He needs 20 achievement points to trigger something, but Art's blow is imminent. I'll use him. A devastating clash. Reinhardt's desperate strike connects with Art's incoming sword. Reinhardt coughs up blood, shocked at what just happened. He stumbles, whispering, "Ugh." Reinhardt realizes the training sword's low durability helped him. He smiles wickedly. Reinhardt, in immense pain, calls Art a piece of trash. Art is shocked by what just happened. Art is scared and thinks, I can't let him pick up that sword. The clash resonates through the training room. Reinhardt is knocked to the ground with a resounding crash. Art, furious, stomps on Reinhardt. URG, you bastard. He can't believe his opponent got the upper hand. Art is frustrated he didn't knock Reinhardt out. Damn it, I wanted him to pass out. Art demands Reinhardt never surrender. Reinhardt refuses with bloody defiance. I'll never do that. Art is sent flying backward, landing roughly as he shouts in disbelief. What? Despite everything, Reinhardt wills himself to win. Art is in disbelief over the surprise attack. Reinhardt remembers his desperation. He didn't want to lose, kneel, or apologize to anyone. Art looms over Reinhardt, mocking, how the hell do you even plan to beat me? He replies, but I still wanted to win, why don't you show me? Reinhardt, with glowing eyes, thinks back to his desire to make Art crawl. He still hoped for victory. He knew what it took to win appearing in his mind. Reinhardt understands his power isn't about pushing limits. It's self-suggestion. He grits his teeth, I'll win anyway. Reinhardt now knows the key to victory. I have to believe it. The students are shocked. He went crazy. That idiot completely lost it, Junior. Reinhardt remembers believing his win was inevitable. It was his power. He charged ahead like an idiot. Reinhardt, with a yell, channels everything into his next strike. Look. He focuses, ignoring the pain, ready to fight. Reinhardt thinks I can win. Reinhardt is on the ground and the clash resonates in his ears. Already. Reinhardt, beaten and bloody, is filled with conviction. I will beat you. As the dust settles, Reinhardt's self-suggestion ability has finally awakened. The blow lands with a deafening crack. The Royal Class students are shocked. Their instructor watches on with a grim expression as Art is commanded to surrender. Art, beaten and bloody, is struck again. He can barely whisper how. His opponent stands over Art, dismissively stating, whatever, you'll lose if you faint anyway. The students watch in shock as Art hears his opponent say, I told you that I'd win. Art's power awakens. He realizes the truth. Strength comes from belief. His opponent smirks, grabbing Art's head, demanding he admits defeat. That's self-suggestion. Art feels a hand on his head as his opponent says, stronger than me. His opponent, fueled by arrogance, yells at Art to admit his defeat. Say it. His opponent sneers, what, you don't want to say it, then I'll make you wake up somewhere else. Art coughs up blood, finally accepting his opponent's self-suggestion power. I was wrong. Art lies, defeated. The self-suggestion ability user stands triumphant over him. The duel is over. Reinhardt is declared the victor. Art lies defeated as the instructor raises Reinhardt's hand. A system message appears announcing the completion of the duel with Art quest. He acquired 600 achievement points. He thinks to himself, I wanted him to wake up to an unfamiliar sailing. Someone then yells, Junior. A strange symbol appears over Art as he lies defeated on the ground. Art wakes in a bed under an unfamiliar ceiling. Reinhardt thinks, I was declared victor before I fainted. Reinhardt awakens to see Harriet. Harriet is relieved that he's okay. Harriet is relieved to see Reinhardt patting his head gently. He blushes. Reinhardt wakes up in a bed and asks what happened. He is told that he won but collapsed. Reinhardt realizes Art is also in the temple. He is then told that Art is in a different room. Reinhardt hears Harriet and another student saying he was ready to fight for Art. Reinhardt in bed is questioned about his reckless fighting. Harriet angrily states that all's not well. Reinhardt is scolded for his recklessness and how he was lucky this time. Reinhardt weakly replies, no I don't. He thinks about achievement points to purchase other abilities. Harriet threatens Reinhardt with a serious scolding if he acts reckless again. He weakly agrees to control himself. The senior states that she prefers juniors who get along with others. Reinhardt is still recovering from his duel as Adriana stays by his side. What happens next is important. Reinhardt recovered and left the recovery room. He then meets with Mr. Eppenhauser. The senior reflects on Reinhardt's self-suggestion ability, calling it interesting. It's rare to awaken such a power. He reflects that it was stupid to duel a senior, but the results justify it. Mr. Eppenhauser warns Reinhardt about his self-suggestion ability's capacity to attack others. Reinhardt assures him he won't be stupid. Reinhardt is being escorted somewhere. He thinks, I bet Ms. Rolendria will be very surprised as well. The duel and Reinhardt's new powers are the talk of the royal class and seniors. Reinhardt reflects on his win and the rumors that are sure to follow. He also felt a change in those around him. Reinhardt, still in the temple, hears someone approaching him. He thinks, As Reinhardt recovers in bed, Charlotte watches him with a stern gaze, thinking, what is with that Ms. Idiot? Reinhardt is with Charlotte, but he wonders what she would say to him. Then someone yells at them, hey, hey. Charlotte is infuriated by Reinhardt's victory and demands an explanation from him. Charlotte scoffs, I got the reaction I expected. She stares down at Reinhardt. Charlotte is surprised by Reinhardt's words, who teases her for being anxious during the duel. Charlotte, flustered, denies doing anything to Reinhardt despite his suspicions. No. Charlotte, still flustered, yells, why would I be worried about someone like you, a beggar? She's relieved to be back to her normal self, though. Charlotte, flustered, shouts at Reinhardt, telling him not to touch her. He finds her reaction cute. Charlotte bursts into tears, berating Reinhardt. She shouts, don't make fun of me like that. Reinhardt argues that she's making fun of him for being a beggar. The girl is infuriated, thinking about hitting him. She argues that he's mistaken because she called him cute and gave a compliment, so he's wrong. She explains that the gesture made him look even cuter than before. He holds a macaron to her lips, insisting she relax. She says he's acting like her grandma. Reinhardt questions why he fought even though the senior was hitting him. It hurt so bad. The narration talks about hitting someone at least once in life, no matter the cost. Reinhardt struggles, lying on the ground, gritting his teeth. He thinks back to the senior who beat him up. He makes up his mind. The red-haired girl ominously states he's going to die early. Reinhardt nervously asks if he didn't die then. She huffs, clearly annoyed at his question. Reinhardt awkwardly stands with the red-haired girl, unsure of her reaction. Up in the temple, Bertus praises Reinhardt for beating a third year. Reinhardt admits it's thanks to his awakened ability. Reinhardt hears his name. The senior asks if he's recovered and if he apologizes, stating that he's there to admit he was wrong about the duel. The senior vows never to use abusive language or violence again. He admits Adriana thought Reinhardt wasn't a bad guy. The narrator explains that the red-haired girl is beloved by all students. She was ordered to discipline the juniors. The third years deliberately chose her, knowing Redina couldn't hurt anyone. She got forced and yelled at. Reinhardt admits that he also crossed the line. What he did wasn't right either. He apologizes to the senior. The senior slams Reinhardt's head into the table, creating a loud thud. The senior is shocked. His face reveals a hint of discomfort and gratitude. He mutters a quiet, "Thank you, Reinhardt." Reinhardt sits down, relieved. He thinks to himself that he will apologize to Redina later as well. The teacher states that the Victory Festival will begin next week. The teacher tells the class that the temple will be closed for the festival. The teacher announces that the temple will be closed for 5 days during the Victory Festival. Students cheer, happy for the break. Redina decides to visit Elaris. It has been a long time, number A11. Reinhardt is confused by what is going on. Someone tells him to follow them. Where are they going? The two men sit and wait. One wonders why they can't heat the pool with magic. Reinhardt wonders if it is thanks to the chate-like mana stones, an indoor pool. One of the men asks if Reinhardt wants to take swimming lessons in winter. The man comments that Reinhardt does not seem to have ulterior motives. He wonders what that means. The senior clears his throat, asking if Reinhardt thinks he's a pervert. He excuses himself. Reinhardt, confused, asks the teacher where he's suddenly going. He feels misunderstood. The teacher greets Reinhardt after a while. Rolendria, the supernatural ability teacher, says she didn't expect his awakening. Reinhardt says he's also surprised. The girl with the clipboard asks Reinhardt if he's ready to start. She times him, frustrated he took 8 seconds. Reinhardt's self-suggestion training seems to be paying off. She notes his time improved to exactly 8 seconds. Rolendria notes that Reinhardt's ability only strengthens his physical attributes. Reinhardt internally feels like he's going crazy. Reinhardt focuses, his self-suggestion ability activating. It allows him to realize self-imposed suggestions, amplifying his power. If they focus on being an athlete, their abilities improve greatly. Reinhardt thinks their dedication is similar to having a winning mentality. He says it's getting harder to bear. Rolendria reassures Reinhardt that his ability is great. He's doubtful of her words. She thinks his power might seem insignificant now. They praise Reinhardt's proficiency with his supernatural power, despite its current weakness. The teacher exclaims Reinhardt is naturally gifted in self-suggestion, but he can't understand why he feels like shit. A notification appears, reminding students to attend class diligently after the examinations. Reinhardt lies in bed. He wonders if his newfound ability is just a severe case of Chunabiu. Reinhardt lies in bed, staring at the ceiling. He begins to question the very nature of his existence. An unknown person orders Reinhardt to come down to the main lobby immediately. The image shows the title of the story, The Demon Prince Goes to the Academy. Berta stares intensely. Ludwig is on the receiving end, seemingly under pressure from the powerful gaze. Bertus reads the letter, a dark look crossing his face. Charlotte sits alone, looking sad and defeated. She's had the painting all this time, and now she has to lie even more. I think I can see a crumbling castle. Charlotte describes more details of the painting, people running from a castle. Charlotte elaborates, stating she sees demons. Ludwig looks shocked, clutching his chest in reaction to her words. Charlotte cries. She begs Ludwig to tell her just a little more, please. Charlotte sobs, clutching her chest. The pressure from Ludwig's words becomes too much. Charlotte's lies were small at first, but they grew and will hurt her. A vision appears of Charlotte distraught. Ludwig mutters, I don't know, I just keep seeing the same scene. Charlotte cries out, just tell me, is he alive or not, please? Charlotte's tears fall as she hears he's alive. Ludwig admits he doesn't know what happened to him. She suddenly declares, he's alive, I'm sure of it. Tears well up, hope and despair clashing. Ludwig is lost in his mind. Thank you so much, thank you. Charlotte sits exhausted beside Ludwig, still weeping from the memories evoked. Charlotte pleads for secrecy. She knows Bertus will manipulate Ludwig for any information he can get. Charlotte thinks back to a memory of Reinhardt, whispering that he's her savior. Ludwig remembers a past memory of a bloodied Charlotte. That boy appeared before me. She remembers Reinhardt saying they would be fine, humanity would be victorious. He was calm despite losing his memories and being imprisoned. He still tried to comfort her. Charlotte remembers Reinhardt's past actions, helping others even in dire situations. She resolves, I promised him I'd help him find his memories. Charlotte is determined to fulfill that promise. I have to find that boy. Charlotte believes some memories should be forgotten, but she can ask Reinhardt herself. Charlotte is determined to find Reinhardt, promising anything in exchange for his location. Ludwig chuckles darkly, warning Charlotte that such a promise is dangerous. Lost in thought, Ludwig sits on a bench alone, the gates of the temple standing before him. Berta sighs. He realizes Charlotte's intense interest in Reinhardt isn't fading anytime soon. Ludwig is shocked. Bertus, what is he doing here so late? Berta smirks, pleased by Charlotte's lack of success in finding Reinhardt. Naturally. Berta suspects Charlotte used the Rotary gang to find Reinhardt. Have you made any progress? Bertus questions how useful a portrait with no name could possibly be. Bertus wants Ludwig to tell him if he remembers anything about Reinhardt. She's already broken. Bertus suddenly thinks, come to think of it, there's something I wanted to check. Bertus asks if Ludwig is like the future master of the Thieves' Guild. Bertus says it's a shame. Ludwig wonders what he's talking about. Reinhardt, you see. Bertus speaks with certainty. Even eliminating all current organizations is impossible. Bertus declares no one should tell him what to do. He believes he can control anything, even Reinhardt. Bertus asks Ludwig if he wants to become the Thieves' Guild master. He smirks, awaiting Ludwig's reaction. Ludwig is confused by Bertus' question, but before he can respond, Bertus waves goodbye. See you after the festival. The group plans to meet at Central Park later. Someone reminds Ludwig to train hard when he visits home. Ludwig leaves Charlotte, promising to rest tomorrow. Charlotte says goodbye, calling him Junior. Ludwig is shocked, beads of sweat drip down his face. He overhears something unsettling, something dangerous is about to happen. Bertus thinks having Ludwig in charge of the Thieves' Guild would be easier. Bertus believes he has Ludwig figured out. He thinks Ludwig wanting to become emperor is ridiculous. Bertus muses that the plan is too large to execute quickly, then bids Reinhardt good night. Reinhardt's name echoes in her mind. Charlotte is trying to bring him back from his thoughts. Wake up. Ludwig decides to stop training. He's tired and Bertus's words are stuck in his head. Ludwig, surprised by Bertus's words, agrees, but Charlotte is concerned. Hey you, don't you think you're sweating too much? Bertus observes Charlotte leaving. He thinks to himself why she's working so hard. Ludwig is confused by his own actions. Shit, what am I doing, that girl? Bertus is surprised he's become attached to Charlotte. Ludwig approaches, offering her. Ludwig walks into the room and is shocked to see Ellen passed out. Zllen. Charlotte is unconscious, her face peaceful, oblivious to the looming danger. Charlotte wakes up in the infirmary. Bertus scolds her for sleeping in dangerous places. He asks if she wants to die so badly. Ellen notes how dangerous the situation was and thanks Reinhardt. Bertus reveals Reinhardt carried Charlotte on his back to safety. Charlotte remembers Reinhardt's frantic state. She wonders why Bertus had to say that. Bertus warns her not to overexert herself. Bertus questions why she was there in the first place after her warning. Bertus smirks, pressing Charlotte for an answer. She weakly affirms he's right, still lying in bed. Bertus asks Charlotte to get up. She seems disoriented. Divine power has been used, so she should be fine now. Charlotte's eyes narrow. A thought bubble appears above her head. I made it specially for you, so you better be grateful. After all that, Charlotte has only one thing on her mind. I want to shower. Bertus warns that it will be past curfew soon. Charlotte retorts that she dislikes smelling like sweat. Bertus is left surprised. Bertus suggests going to the dining hall, but Charlotte is concerned they'll get caught by teachers. Charlotte proposes eating in the room instead. Charlotte prepares to get out of bed. She glances towards the window. It seems to be raining outside. Bertus enters a room, observing the surroundings. So this is Ellen's room, he muses aloud. He muses that it's not strange for opposite sexes to visit each other. Dorms are co-ed in the story. Bertus remarks Ellen's room is as empty as his. Just a faint different smell, he notes to himself. Bertus notices a trunk in the corner of Ellen's room. He wonders about its purpose. Charlotte pats herself dry with a towel after her shower, declaring, I'm done. Bertus says they should eat and sleep. It's raining heavily outside and he's clearly tired. Burtis and Charlotte eat on the balcony. The rain continues to pour outside. Charlotte watches the rain. Burtis eats a sandwich muttering, "This is what it means to be a person." Charlotte stares out at the relentless rain, her expression clouded with unsaid thoughts and a lingering worry. As the rain falls, a disembodied voice asks, "Would you save the world?" Ellen believes death is final. A single life is all one has, even to save the world. People worship Artorias. Ellen mourns Artorias' death, resenting and missing him at the same time. Burtis hesitates to answer. He admits he needs to be in that situation to answer that. Charlotte is firm, "I won't ever let myself die like that." Charlotte looks down, finally relenting in the face of Burtis' relentless questioning. Burtis turns to Charlotte. "I have something to show you," he declares, motioning to Ellen's trunk. Burtis takes a sword out of the trunk. He observes it's a sword. Burtis stares at a strange inscription on the sword. He thinks, "I don't have any idea what that means." Burtis declares he knows the sword. It is called Lament. Burtis realizes Artorias carried two holy swords, Allspringer and Lament. Burtis realizes Lament was a memento left for Ellen by Artorias. Burtis smirks, teasing, "So that's why you're so strong, huh?" Charlotte quietly utters, "Reinhardt." Charlotte turns, a slight smile gracing her lips as she watches Burtis behind her. Rain continues to fall as a message appears. Ellen Artorias has revealed her identity sooner than expected. Achievement unlocked. The temple building is shown during daytime, even though curfew has started. The scene changes to a toy train. It's a model of the Mana train. Burtis is excited and smug. He exclaims, "Let's go see Reinhardt now." Burtis and Charlotte arrive at a Liger District shopping street, ready to see Reinhardt. Charlotte's voice rings out, "Hello, welcome to." Charlotte is shocked at Reinhardt's appearance. Reinhardt grins, asking if she needs something. Your Highness." Reinhardt greets Elleris, explaining he came because school is closed. Elleris warns him of the danger. Reinhardt assures Elleris he made sure he wasn't followed on the way here. Charlotte is surprised by Burtis's gesture. She stammers a "thank you." Charlotte stands over Reinhardt, looking annoyed. She presses him on why he's in this state. Charlotte recalls Burtis's scroll-peddling days, which is how they met. A voice declares that this is the place where Charlotte was last seen. Reinhardt spots someone and angrily shouts that he didn't steal anything, he was given it. She explains he wanted her to copy real scrolls for him, with payment. She says those people deserve to be punished, and he got overly excited. Charlotte is surprised, thinking Loyar's frequent contact means something serious. Reinhardt suggests they talk. They agree to visit the Rotary Gang tomorrow. Charlotte stands by the window as Reinhardt lies in bed. He asks if she's sleeping. Reinhardt replies he's not sleeping yet. Charlotte asks if he has something to say. Charlotte looks out of the window, then confesses she views humans no better. Charlotte says that humanity knows the meaning of prosperity but fight for it. Reinhardt calls out Elleris. Charlotte asks if something is wrong. She reveals that she'll know tomorrow. The next day arrives. Reinhardt lays in bed and Charlotte stands by the window. Reinhardt asks Charlotte how she has been as they walk into a dungeon. Suddenly someone shouts, "You are he, Ignis." The knight exclaims he heard from Elleris about Reinhardt's supernatural power awakening. Charlotte says he's too loud. Reinhardt is attacked while walking through the dungeon with Charlotte and says he's fine. He feels like he's about to die. Charlotte asks Reinhardt what he means by that statement, explaining the duel with Mayarten. They are shocked by Reinhardt's statement. Charlotte chides him for his temper. An underling praises Charlotte as another shouts at Reinhardt to stay hidden. Reinhardt clutches a necklace and says he hasn't used it yet. Charlotte sounds relieved but still anxious. Reinhardt is urged to tell her what is going on. Charlotte is confused by this. Charlotte relays that Elleris mentioned Reinhardt had something to report yesterday. She asks if he wants to say something. Reinhardt notices Charlotte's serious expression and asks what's wrong. He wants to know if something happened. The man begins to speak, mentioning rumors during the victory celebration. A voice booms that demons will be sold as prisoners on the black market. A man questions why demons are being sold on the black market. Charlotte wonders what they could even be used for. Reinhardt is shocked and asks if they collect demons as easily as goblins and orcs. He shouts at the man to wait. Charlotte looks down, a serious expression on her face. She tells him to speak. The man explains succubi are traded most actively for their human-like appearance. Reinhardt looks shocked, realizing they might be selling male demons too, like incubi. He stares with wide eyes. The man states that's what slave markets are for. Reinhardt questions if they want to save the prisoners. The man states that failing to save the demons could endanger them too. A voice responds that losing any of them would greatly weaken their foundation. The air hangs heavy with unspoken words as Reinhardt looks at Charlotte. Reinhardt thinks that if he wasn't there, Charlotte and the knight would rush to save the demons. Reinhardt realizes he should be rescuing Delphine like in the original story. Reinhardt sits down, acknowledging that he's embroiled in a protagonist-like situation. He thinks, to be honest. Reinhardt thinks he's just an old man, not a demon. Why rescue them? Reinhardt thinks to himself that he doesn't even want to rebuild the demon realm. The crowd behind Charlotte watches Reinhardt silently, waiting for his answer. Charlotte apologizes for the inconvenience caused, a serious look etched on her face. She means business. Reinhardt sighs, muttering about fatigue and sleep, oblivious to Charlotte's concern. I want to sleep. Reinhardt covers his face with his hands, wishing he could live peacefully. Charlotte, standing above, resolves to try to save the demons. Charlotte, confused, asks, what did you just say? A voice angrily responds, did you not hear me? Reinhardt's expression hardens as he states that they need to rescue those prisoners.